What's up, everybody? Come on in. Get in here. It's another Monday. I know. Everybody has different opinions about Mondays. Some people love them, some people don't. But we're here, and it's Mando Monday. We're going to be hanging out. We're going to bring in some friends. We're going to talk things Mandalorian because we got like 36 hours or less until it's time to get our Mando on. So yeah, don't forget your emoji rain is on. We are continuing to use our fun little additional tools that are for you guys. So don't forget your emoji rain is on. Let me get the layout better so that you guys can. No, that's better. Okay. I got to change my design because there we go. Okay. Yeah. So don't forget your emoji rain is on. And let's have some fun today. So it's Monday. We got. I usually don't watch a lot. I don't get into spoilers, right? So let's start there. I don't get very much into spoilers, mainly because I don't want to invest too much and not be surprised, right? I enjoy the surprise of getting the show coming at us. Also, hold on, I gotta do my thing real quick. Hold on. Everything is so much better in that cup. So, like I was saying, we've got a lot of trailers, so we're going to go through some of the trailers. I've broken some stuff down this week. I've got some more breakdown stuff coming before the episode. They keep dropping these new little pearls, these new little tidbits of information, and I'm about it because I am very much into this show. I think this is a show that the fandom is not sniping at each other so much about. Yeah, there's going to be some infighting, I think, eventually with everything involving roads to the sequels and stuff like that, but for the most part it feels like it's going to be very much the same direction that we've been going. We're not going towards Jedi culture, we're not going towards any of that stuff. It's strictly towards the Mandalorians, it's strictly towards Mandalorian lore and Mandalore, right? So this is very fun for us that have enjoyed the Clone Wars. There's a lot of arcs that are very, they're very fun for me. I really enjoy all the stuff that happens with Sabine Wren and House Wren and all the Bo-Katan stuff in the Clone Wars. There's a lot of fun stuff in there, and we only get these little droplets of that. We don't really get a lot of it. So this is great because they're diving heavily into Mandalorian lore and Mandalore. And if you think those two things are the same, they're not. Mandalorian lore is about obviously the lore of Mandalore, and Mandalore is a title. It is the leader of the Mandalorians. And that person usually has the Darksaber in tow. So let's go ahead and bring in some of your chats. You guys got the emoji rain going. That's what I want to see. Dan the man says, oh, we got to move this because I like having you guys up at the top, not at the bottom. All right, Dan the man says we could also be getting short films on Disney about whatever. I'm trying to stay away from all that dramas because that's just gonna stir up that stuff we was talking about. All right, so aside from myself, let's go ahead and bring in some of the homies. So everybody's always fashionably late coming to the party here on Mondays because it's Monday and who wants to get in on stuff? What up, Doe? Uh-oh.
Damn, ruined it. I ruined it.
Oh, there you go. You're back.
I said, someone say something about drama. Here I am.
Here you are.
Dan is the man.
Dan is the man.
We still got to trigger everybody on my channel one of these days.
Oh, I think we should trigger everybody all the time. All right, so we're gonna put this in the chat. We're gonna put this out here the whole time today. We're gonna try to leave this guy out there. Get your video comments in. We're talking Mandalorian today. We're talking Mandalore today. We're trying to stay away from all the other stuff. Today is strictly, I mean, really, tomorrow's going to be the same way. But today is going to be about Mandalorians because of what's coming. We're 2 days away from what has become a global show. I mean, The whole world is in on this.
Yep. Let's take over. Baby Grogu. I
Let's
mean,
take
Din
dude,
Djarin.
all of the above. I
Yeah.
mean, all of the above.
It's kind
So,
of working out in their favor. Like casuals are into it. The
oh
hardcore
yeah,
sweaties are into it. So
it's definitely catching the eyes of, I think, of everybody. I think everybody's got some skin in the game on this one, and it's just honestly, I mean, they're killing it. They're killing it with this show. Wow, you guys are all backwards. What's going on here, guys? Having there
yeah, I
we go.
think this season, I don't know, man. I think a lot of crazy stuff's going to happen in this season. Some big
Well, I
tie-ins,
mean,
I think, because there's a lot of stuff coming immediately after it. You know what I mean?
and one further. I mean, I think that this is going to be a season where we're getting connections that we didn't really think. Like, I mean, I'll lay one out there early. Hot take is that green Sendari looking flat, that Mandalorian,
Yep.
we'll call it an outpost planet, whatever
Yep.
you want to call it. That is not Bo-Katan and where she stands. She's on Sendari, right? She's in the capital
It's like a
city because she's a
misdirect,
leader.
huh?
That's no, dude. That's a flashback to when they brought Din Djarin home.
Oh,
That's why it's
so you
green.
think he has seen the dome? You think he
Well, he was
he
there for
saw
the
it at
Night of
the
a
height of
Thousand Tears.
its? Yeah.
He remembers the Night of a Thousand Tears, right? Like
Hmm.
Moff Gideon knows him by name, and he even said it. The only way he knows that name is if he was in the Mandalorian archives, right? Like
Oh,
he
so you know what
he's
just came
been
to my
on
mind?
Mandalore, dude. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
guaranteed. So that's not a current
Yeah.
view. I think that's when they brought him home for the first time as a foundling.
Bro, so cinematically, easy. All they gotta do is keep doing the flashbacks like they did when he was a kid. Just gonna hit
Yeah,
us with more of them. They're just gonna fill it in more and more because people loved though all the little Easter eggs, the battle droids in the one.
yeah.
Maybe we even see like who his parents were, if how deep his parents were into some of this stuff too. Like we don't know. We don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
That would be cool though if they showed him training even as a kid,
well, I mean, I'm doing a
learning parts
video
of the
now.
creed.
And I mean, there's, people aren't all my videos that I've been doing, all the shorts that I've been doing lately are all related to the trailers and just little pearls that people aren't picking up. No one's picking
Mm,
up these breadcrumbs that they're laying out. They're just like, "Oh my
mhm.
god, did you see this and that?" They're like the one I did today about the armorer and Din Djarin, and Bo-Katan is in the background.
Yeah,
So Bo and the armor
everyone's
are
in the
going to be in
same
the
place.
same room. That's when I think
Do you?
that flashback happens because, if you're watching Star Wars Meg, because she's a boss when it comes to lore, she's hinting a Bo-Katan Din Djarin connection from the past,
Hmm.
right? Because they were both technically, she was Death Watch back then, and he was saved by the Children of the Watch. So her seeing him as a foundling or vice versa is
Dude.
100% plausible, and that's why we see that ship flying into a green Mandalorian civilization, is because I think that's where he's being introduced to the foundlings after being rescued,
Hmm.
and
I
she could
wonder if
potentially be there or be in charge of it.
yeah, and I wonder if the armor making the connection between Bo and Din will then make a connection for I'm gonna mess this up. Will then make a connection for Bo between Din and the armorer. Like so it'll date the relationship between all of them, knowing him as a kid. Like he could be more important than we know. We don't know, is
Well,
Din Djarin his real name or is it a given Mandalorian name? Like
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of room. There's a lot of room here,
I'm
but
assuming he was old
ultimately,
to his name, but yeah.
I'm very interested to, aside from his lineage, because for Mandalorians, it's not really about their lineage, right? It's about strength and honor and status, right? It's not about. I mean,
True,
yeah,
true.
for the main houses, it was about who you were born into, but after the fall, it was more about survival and strength than it was about, blood. And
Well, and how
so
are foundlings selected too? You know what I mean?
exactly.
Just per chance, or is it like something you see in them,
Are
or
they families
opportunistic?
of the cultures
Right,
that are kind of like the
right.
Jedi that are kind of,
Hmm.
taken as young? There's a lot of,
Yeah.
I mean, look, there's a scene. I'm gonna let it out now because I'm working on a video that to drop tomorrow. I've been trying to drop one every day I can to get something, to get some traction going before we jump into Mando season 3. And the one I'm making
Hmm.
today, I'm working on right now. I'll give you guys a hint. Mandalorian. Why is nobody? And this is crazy to me. Not even the big dogs. Not even the 3 million subscriber guy. Not even Star Wars Meg or none of these folks that are big dogs in the system, let's call it. Nobody is talking about the Mandalorian foundlings that are in the freaking trailers,
Yep.
right? Nobody's talking
Yep.
about
Saw that.
this. You've got Paz Vizsla with his Gatling gun, basically shooting up at what I think is going to be Din Djarin's ship, because they know him to be in the Razor Crest. They don't know him to be in the N1
Mm,
Starfighter. So they're
mm.
going to shoot his down. He's going to show up with little Grogu and be like, yo, I'm here to talk to the armorer. But there's a whole group of foundlings chilling in this camp, running away because they're getting shot at. Why is nobody talking about this? Right? That's
Yeah, I saw at least two, maybe three. Can't just be tiny people.
No, they're not tiny Mandalorians. They're foundlings,
You're a little short
right?
for a man. You're a little short for a
So
Mandalorian.
yeah, right. That's a perfect meme, right? But I mean, we're gonna see a camp of foundlings, right? There's so much going
Mm,
on with this culture that we're seeing, and nobody's talking about these little things that we're gonna see, right? So I've got an order. We're gonna wait. We're gonna wait a little bit, but I've got the order in which these scenes are, I think, are actually strung out, and how we're gonna see these play out, right, in the show. So I've
right.
got, they're not strung out in like a video yet, but I'm going to show them. We're going to talk about it, and then I'm going to show you guys where my brain space is at in the trailers. So we're going to watch all the trailers today. We're going to bring them up. We're going to slow them down. I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about. Don't forget to get your Matt Cave mug. This makes you smarter, edit better. Um, but yeah, so what's up? Are you excited? Are you pumped? Are you gonna,
I'm
you're not gonna
hyped.
stay up
I'm hyped
late
for
because
Mando.
you're East Coast, so you're not gonna
No,
stay up all late.
no, no, I can't. I get up too early to stay up late. But
Mhm.
times get up earlier just to watch before work. But that's
Yeah,
a
I
little
mean,
rough. That
you
comes
guys might
really
get
early.
snowed in if you're not careful.
Yeah, I might have to deal with the kids being home tomorrow too. So
Yeah, you might have
working from home and then kids on snow days, it's rough. It's rough.
just throw them outside. Isn't that what snow days are for? Just go,
Yes.
go outside
Yeah,
and
hopefully
freeze
they'll
and
get enough.
until you stick your
Mhm.
tongue to the pole, and then we'll rescue you with some hot
Preach.
water, and then we'll go inside and give you
Oh
some
man,
cocoa and milk. And
not to go on too much of a tangent, but I don't think they've actually seen that movie, but
oh
we've
my god,
seen that happen in videos and they're
it's an
like, "No
old school
way." Like
movie.
they were like, "No, that happens." I was like, "Yes, never do that.
Do they
Please, never do
But
that."
if you have you
They
explained
don't
the
understand.
science of that to
No.
them though?
I
Because I
don't
think
think so.
if you explain the science of it to them and then do it at home, it's even
Yeah.
funnier, right?
The
Like,
best way is like a really ice cold popsicle and you have them touch it with their fingers. You know how your fingers kind of like stick to it? It's the same kind
oh,
of thing,
I
but
say go further than that. I
the
say
tongue's
I
not
say
coming off, man.
I say get a cold, like, piece of metal and put it in the fridge for a day or 2, get it really ice cold, and
Just
then
test it.
bring it inside and try it.
This
That's
guy.
my kinda teaching, because then you could be like, "Here's some hot water." You're not stuck, to a
Trial
pole,
by
and maybe
fire, man.
yeah, ba it's sink or swim, baby. That's how we did it in the
Mm.
in the '80s and
Never
'90s,
forget. Never forget. Back in
That's how
my
we
day.
that's how we were. I mean, you came home with broken bones. They're like, "Well, what happened?" And you came up with a good lie because they didn't have all this GPS on you.
Bro, we would go to the nurse's office in school, like elementary, middle school, no matter what it was, massive gash on your arm, anything. She'd just give you a cup of ice and send you back to class.
or a bag of ice,
Yes,
put
bag
it
of
in a
ice.
Ziploc
Yep.
bag and a rag.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, man, look, it's a different time, number one. So I'm surprised. I don't know if they focus group this Mandalorian season, any
Mm.
episodes with anybody. because I haven't heard anything. Like, look,
Yeah, I was talking
Ant-Man the
about that.
Wasp: Quantumania leaks
Whole
uh,
script.
ahead of time. Well, not even that, but ahead of time judgment, right? There people before the movie came out were like, "This sucks,"
Yeah.
right? Same thing with a bunch of other things that have come out recently.
Hmm.
There's all this vocal, this sucked, that sucked. I haven't heard anything about this, right?
Kind
So
of have that luxury, if you can name any luxuries with television, is like that's the one. There's no pre-screeners, there's no midnight releases, there's no early showings. It's like everyone's gonna experience it together.
I mean, I guess, right? I mean, it
Yeah.
it it seems like there's no like, oh, we got it almost seems like we ain't got to do it. We got him. We already got him. Right? We don't got to
Hmm.
reel him in with focus groups and peeps. We got him, you know.
Yep.
So why bother? Let's just keep going. And to that point, they haven't really missed yet, right?
You know,
There's
the other
no
thing too, with this show, there have been some bigger spoilery things, but there's so much other stuff going on that people are talking about. Is I think a lot of people forgot about some of this stuff.
I as well. I think a lot of people
Yeah.
have been
Hasn't been talked about. You know what I mean? You don't see people talking about the stuff we know about. So
well, and
I'm not gonna do it.
you don't
I'm
see
gonna
people
wait.
talking about much of anything other than how excited they are, right? Like
Hmm.
they kept the biggest secret in all of television
Yes.
a secret for a year,
Yeah.
right? They
I hope
kept
we get it. The Plo Koon.
right.
Plo Koon
I mean, yeah,
situation.
that's I'm calling it the Plo Koon maneuver,
Yeah.
right?
I
Because
love that.
that was some excellent rope a doping right there. They had the
Yes.
cast. They were so smart. They were shooting off site and had a skeleton crew come in and handle business, right?
They were
So
so secretive about each shot, they didn't even realize there was a guy in blue jeans standing in the background.
exactly, dude, exactly. Oh, oh,
Hello there.
oh,
Hey, what up?
what's up,
What
dude? What's cracking?
Just got out of the shower.
Oh, is that why you're here? It's all right.
Looking
You're
slick,
on
man.
Mustafar. It'll dry in no time. It'll
Oh,
take no time
it
to
should,
dry
right?
out.
How we doing, boys?
Wow, dude, it's Mando
Chilling.
Monday, bro. We're
Fuck
Just
yeah.
starting to get
2
hyped
days
about it.
away from getting hypey.
Oh, the hype is already starting, my guy.
Oh,
do you
the
mean?
hype
yes.
is real. We were
Speculation.
when you were in the backstage, I was letting you get set up because I saw green and I didn't see lava, and I was like, oh, he needs a minute. So, but we were just talking, and I was just mentioning like, this is an airtight ship, right? This isn't a ship floating across the seas. This is a ship in space with no leaks, right? Like this one's tight. This one's tight.
Toy like
Oh,
a
yeah.
toiga.
Toy like a toiga.
Quite.
But I mean, it really is. It's they did that with Plo Koon. They kept that super hush, even shot pictures and stills and screen grabs and all that
Hmm.
for the back, the sending back to mothership footage, and they kept that airtight. I was just saying to Hawks, we haven't seen or heard a word about this. Ant-Man Quantumania leaks, spoilers, reviews before you even get out, along with all the other stuff that's recently come out. But this has been like not a zero zitch nothing.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. That's usually how the Mandalorian is, though. I mean, Star Wars has like, if they want something to stay quiet, the beauty is they generally can find a way to keep it that way. Sometimes it happens, but the cool thing is, and I'll say this like real loud, real quick, but when certain things are just that cool or that good, it makes the people that work on it want to hush hush too most of the time, especially if they're treated properly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And the other thing is within the fandom, fans that get their hands on certain information, if they don't want for like Grogu or Luke, like I'm sure there were people
Hmm.
that had that information and
Hmm.
didn't want to give it out. Heck, even for tomorrow's Bad Batch episode, I know that there's some information out there that I had recently discovered to me, and I don't want to drop it for everybody because, again, I don't want to ruin it for them. You know what I mean? I think it's going to be that good of a Bad Batch episode, even with Mandalorian coming out, where I don't want to ruin the surprise of the Bad Batch thing for most fans,
That
Well, I
actually
mean,
is saying exactly the opposite on some of these Marvel projects. These Marvel fans are pissed. That's why the entire Spider-Man everything leaks. The entire Ant-Man everything leaks. Like they're mad at Sony, so they want to ruin all the Sony projects. You know what I mean? They're mad at Phase
well,
4, so they want
look,
to ruin a lot of the future upcoming stuff with that. It's just
the
like,
Star Wars fandom's pissed too.
yeah.
Like
Always.
It's like
these
like
these are not a happy group of people.
yeah.
Let's be real here. This is Star Wars fans, Lucasfilm fans. They are not a forgiving, trusting, any of the above. They are ruthless
Relentless.
scoundrels. All of us, right? I mean,
Worst
it's
of the worst.
yeah, dude. I mean,
Wow, don't go that far. I mean,
Amanda
I'll say
Waller.
it.
Amanda Waller.
Star Wars
Like
fans
Suicide
Amanda Waller.
Squad, bro.
are
oh
pretty
my
awful.
God.
I'm gonna say it outright. Star Wars fans are pretty awful, and pretty awful to one another. So, it is what it is. But it
I'll put
has,
it there. Some Star Wars fans are pretty awful. I feel like there's a portion of it. Look at this group of people. Are
Well,
we that
obviously
bad?
it's not
but
everybody.
to
We're
other
memeing a
people,
little
we're
bit.
awful. Like just
I'm
because we're
memeing a
not
little
awful
bit.
to one another doesn't mean to the rest of the fandom we're not awful.
Oh no, for sure. But it's like everything in life, though. There's good people and there's bad people. You know what
But
I
I
mean?
mean, I'm not even saying like bad people. I'm just
Except
saying
for
like,
Well,
Trandoshans, most of them are bad.
I'm going very
Majority.
basic with it, painting it black and white. But yeah, obviously there's people that, to put it in Alfred's words from Dark Knight, some people just want to watch the world burn, and
Well,
some of us don't.
I think also, like, not for nothing, like Star Wars is pushing boundaries, pushing stuff more. They're going away from the norms of, I guess, like the comic book stuff Marvel's doing. Marvel's playing it pretty safe. You know what I mean? And they have this continuous canon they can pull from. Star Wars doesn't have that
Marvel's playing
liberty,
it safe,
and they're literally just
bruh.
oh
I
yeah,
gotta
Marvel's
disagree
definitely
there.
playing it safe.
I disagree there.
They're
I think they're
copy
going balls
pasta
to the
from the
wall.
comics.
Copy
I mean,
pasta. Okay. The comics always followed similar storylines, though. They're just adapting those storylines.
And they have a multiverse, so they have like all this
That's
plot
not
armor and
safe at
stuff.
all, though. But yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. The fact that they went there to the multiverse is not safe. I know this is a Star Wars stream, but I
Yeah,
heard
yeah.
some dude on Instagram last night was complaining that, like, saying that the multiverse is ruining the MCU. I'm like, that is the most absurd thing I've ever heard. He's like, the characters are all, like, none of the stakes matter because there's a billion of these characters. I'm like, you're gonna realize
There's a
pretty
lot of
soon
people saying that.
the stakes matter, my guy. When
Yeah.
all these different variants start disappearing, you're gonna be like, okay, I guess the stakes do matter. Obsession.
Look,
I disagree.
I feel
Go
like
ahead.
it's an interesting time. Like Marvel's on the ropes. I've been saying it for a while. Marvel's on the ropes. They're having a real hard time keeping their fandom from burning the house down. But this is a fandom that is very unforgiving, and that they don't want to talk about stuff they're not into, right? So the one thing that's great about The Mandalorian is that it's off the grid for the most part for most fans. Most fans don't know anything about Jaster, don't know anything about any of those comics or any of that, because it wasn't illustrated in animation or live action. So they've never really seen it. It wasn't part of the old Star Wars canon or any of that. So it's very new. And that's the bonus of it, is the little Star Wars lore that is in the Mandalorian culture is very minimal. So moving forward, they have a lot of room to grow, where they're not really, unless they just have to stay away from a couple of touchy issues that lead into canon. But aside from that, they have freedom to reign.
I don't know if any IP really has freedom like that. But I just think the
They're
more
less tied
creative
down.
you try to be, yeah, I just think they need to stick to being creative within the stories and within the characters a lot. Like, especially if you're going to try to bring in modern takes or modern situations, the story's got to hit like really good. Because
Well,
then
okay,
that stuff becomes secondary. You know what I mean?
I
I think fans are more upset about the writing in a lot of this stuff than
well,
anything.
and Sheev's point here is, it's not that fans aren't willing to see those stories, right? Because I think Visions showed that fans are into a lot of those stories. It has more to do with it doesn't belong in Star Wars because we don't need multiverse.
Well,
We don't
sure,
need
sure.
multiple.
No,
We don't need multiple emperors running around, right? We don't need multiple Anakins running around. We don't need like that needs to never happen,
I mean, you could do it
right?
differently than the way Marvel does it and still have it make sense to the Star Wars universe, I think. But I agree, it probably is something that should stay out of it. But I'm saying mainly because the fans already, I see people in the comments, no multiverse in Star Wars. It's like, all right, yeah, probably not. But it's like they're not even willing to entertain the idea. So it's like, don't do it.
I'm not willing to entertain the idea because I think it's sloppy and lazy. I think it's lazy storytelling, right?
I don't agree with
I
that.
agree.
Hard to agree.
It's lazy.
I won't go
storytelling.
that far. I won't go.
If you use the world between worlds to start a new timeline, right? That's not a real Star Wars mentality, right? That's not a real Star Wars thing. The ultimate power
It doesn't
is
have to be that
Nah,
specifically.
bro.
either, though.
I gotta speak out on this one, Obsession, because you're basically saying that Visions isn't real Star Wars mentality.
no. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that's not canon. Also, right? Those are non-canonic characters. Those are non-canonic stories. So they're free to do whatever they want.
Which Lucasfilm has stated that they are open to making non-canon stories.
Right, but those are not multiversal stories, is my point. Those are non-canonic stories with characters that have no influence on the canon, right?
I mean, if you
Marvel's multiversal characters have an influence in one another across the streams, right? Star Wars doesn't need that kind of shit.
I'm not saying they have to do that though either. That's what I'm saying. They don't have to do it like MCU does. That there technically is a Star Wars multiverse, and people don't want to accept that either.
Right.
Because we have the EU, we have Legends, we have all this stuff that's technically a multiverse of Star Wars stories where different things happen. But
Right,
guess
and that's
what?
exactly why they cut them out of the canon and are picking what they want to use instead of allowing these streams to cut across their canon, right? Because it's
but there's
easy.
there's still some characters that are brought into it in certain aspects, whether it's
now. I thought before they did that, all that was canon.
They did, but
before they.
I mean, it
so
wasn't.
It wasn't like
Lucas never said it
Elseworlds
was.
and shit like that. Okay.
Right. It
so
wasn't
it wasn't like Marvel's comics. It was like just comics written, and
there's always been
the
one
canon.
set canon for Star Wars, according to George Lucas, and now according to Disney. But with all the other different mediums, there is, in a sense, a multiverse of Star Wars stories, if you want to put it that way. You don't have to put it that way. You can just call it what it is and say it's not canon and everything.
But the multiverse in Marvel is canon, right? The multiverse in DC can be canon, but the Star Wars multiverse, I feel it's hard enough for people to wrap their head around what's going on as it is, right? Without a comic to back it up, right? There's no foundation for them to just do it, right?
But listen, bro, I think if they're gonna keep pushing the Star Wars thing, eventually we're gonna see some twins fighting on top of Star Destroyers. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm about that.
There's gonna be a point where it's like, okay, you remember that one episode in the Clone Wars or Rebels where Satine was being interrogated by the Imperial guy, and he said Palpatine's ultimate goal was to control the goddamn universe. And how he was going to do that was the world between worlds. He knows about that power.
And I think
so it literally, bro, he says that in the episode. He says,
I think that's
the ultimate power is controlling of the universe, bro.
And I think that's exactly why it has to stay out of his hands, or it has to stay out of everyone's hands, because then it gets real dicey.
I think future Star Wars films need to go that far. We need some.
Well, we know it doesn't go that far yet. And I don't think it ever will go to where we get, different multiverses. And I agree with the Obsession that
I want unknown regions and like one-eyed octopus.
Well, that's the cool thing
give me that.
About a universe is that you can literally, it's ever expanding. You can literally say that, this exists in a different part of the Star Wars universe.
Right. But they're not going to.
I agree in having. I don't need to see. What do you call the Force Will being a Kang-like villain in Star Wars going across
Controlling pieces, like chess
That's
pieces.
Palpatine,
Yeah.
though, man. That's what I'm saying. That's what they'll do.
No.
Yeah.
Open up that
So-
gate, and it's Palpatine on Palpatine.
It'll be the Wills.
until there's an ultimate Palpatine.
No, it'll be the Wills.
No.
trying to-
He's
Because they
returned
wanted
one
to
too
do
many
that.
times at this point.
He will be
But-
one of the Wills at the end.
I'm not a
Yeah.
shit. You might as well make one of them a fucking Galactus, and she's gonna recruit Reva, and she'll be the Silver Surfer.
Yeah,
why
no, that's what I'm saying. It's
Yes.
sloppy.
Yes.
It's dangerous. The retcon the sequels fans love that shit because it gives them an out to retcon the sequels, and that's not going to happen, dude.
No,
Like,
I agree.
there's a lot of things I'm wrong about.
Worlds.
Retconning the sequels,
listen,
is not
though.
one of them.
Listen, I'm gonna say a thing, and I'm a real sequel like shill. Y'all know that. If they ever did some shit like they did with Ezra and Ahsoka, again using the world between worlds as a fulcrum, as a pinpoint, and that was done well, I'm here for it. If it was something as stupid as like pulling Luke's Kyber because they needed that, like, I'm just saying, like,
For sure.
writing specific things with the world between
I don't
worlds.
think Dave Filoni's
Can't,
gonna
it doesn't
do
have to
that,
be
though.
dangerous, in my
All
opinion.
I'm saying is, I don't think we should act like what we know of the world between worlds is just strict law, this
Yeah.
strict timeline because he saved her. It was meant to always happen. I say we wait until Ahsoka drops. We see all these different timelines, and if it is in fact all supposed to lead to the same thing, then sure. But I think right now we're kind of getting a little, just a tad bit ahead.
I don't even think it is a multiversal thing with the world between worlds. If anything, it's a time travel thing, and I think
Okay.
that's
Right, but you can't time travel and keep it any kind of space
they already
magic.
have.
And no, they haven't time traveled. They really haven't.
Fine, Ahsoka came out at the same point, but then what did
Right,
she do?
it's
Sit on a
specifically
rock for
made
fucking
it
5
time
years?
travel.
Mhm.
If
It's
time
more
travel
like-
did exist, then don't you think Darth Vader, if he knows about the world between worlds, he would have been plucked Padme or tried
That's
to-
what I'm saying. I mean, he was trying everything, right?
Yeah.
He
Either
was
way,
trying
she
to-
did time travel because she was pulled out of the moment where Vader was about to kill her, and she was put back in right after.
It's not-
So that's time travel.
That's the thing that needs to be explained, and he left it vague enough for you to say that.
I mean, it's not really time travel unless
It's a
she comes
veil.
out
It's a
at
veil.
Well, then he would have
time.
put her right back in the same moment where Vader kills her.
No,
That's
no,
time
he,
travel, my
he-
guy.
He didn't put her
It
back.
is, though.
Technically,
It's
She went
in-game
back,
time.
but that's what I'm saying. If you walk through one of the portals, it's like time travel. You go into that
It's
moment.
like when the Avengers took Loki and put him in the TVA. Ahsoka's Loki.
Right.
It's in-game time travel.
I mean, you're out of time. It's
She's
tricky.
out of time, though.
That's
She's
That's
not,
the
right?
thing,
I
though,
agree.
is
Not-
we were set with the rules where Ahsoka's like, yeah, we're not going to mess with this. Because
It's
if
not
you do
time
mess
travel.
with the timeline, that obviously fucks everything up. But
It's time, right?
Dave
Time
is
travel
not
if
gonna
they
write
messed
it
up
in a-
things, right?
I'm saying Dave is not going to make it to where he's going to screw everything up because it's Dave fucking Filoni. He's not going to do that.
Right,
Agreed.
but at the same time,
But it is
this
essentially time travel.
well.
It
I mean,
can
look,
be. It can
if,
be.
If
definitely.
Ezra
If
steps
someone
through
used
the
it,
veil in another point in time, then yes, it's time travel. But
Yep.
technically that is a space above time and space, right? That is a space where all things
Exactly,
are happening at
though.
once, right?
the fact is, we haven't seen anyone use it as time travel. The
Right.
moment that we do, it is, and we all know that
And
it's
I
capable
don't
of
think-
that power.
And I
Right.
don't think that it's going to be used that way.
No.
I
Right.
honestly
But we never
don't
know.
think that she steps through the veil.
What's
right?
also cool is like no rule, none of this shit applies to a Sith or a dark side user, bro. No dark side user cares about anything we're talking about right now. If they got in there, they do what they want.
Right.
Is Star Wars going to muddle the timelines and do? I don't think so. I don't
No.
think so.
No,
Not
it's
yet.
like I said,
Not yet. but
Maybe
I
one day.
maybe someday if we're lucky.
I
Just
mean,
give that
shit,
snap
I
and they
would
reset
love
everything.
for Ahsoka just to walk past a portal, sees Rey in that shit, and just gets out those two lightsabers and destroys the portal. But obviously, that's not going to happen. That's just,
well, but I think that's more of what it is. I think it's more of a mirror
yeah.
more than it is for her. I think it's more of a mirror than a portal, right? Because she's been through the veil. It's kind of like there's going to be a weird tangent, but because Hogwarts Legacy is out right now, right? You can't see Thestrals unless you've seen Death, right? That's a part of the lore of the Harry Potter world, right? You can't see this beast unless you've seen death with your own eyes, right? This is very much what I think the world between worlds is. If you don't know it's there, if you haven't been on the other side of the veil, it doesn't, you can't see it, right? It just looks like a mirror or looks like a doorway. But to people that have crossed the veil, you can see through that as a mirror. That's why it's almost like that's why Palps could see what was going on.
I was about to ask, how do you think Palpatine found out about that stuff? Like, was it in the
Well,
Jedi archives or?
Yeah, 100%, dude. Look, because when they went to Mortis, they documented everything when they came back, right? After action reports were a Jedi thing, right? They did paperwork, right? In those archives that was in the restricted.
Don't they like not remember shit though? Like the whole point is that Anakin sees his past in it, and then they don't remember anything. Or he sees his future, I guess.
He sees himself as Vader.
Yeah.
Or someone
Well,
taking down the
erases all
Jedi.
that, but they don't erase the whole experience, right?
I thought that they did. Like I thought that they straight up forgot everything, and now Ahsoka just sees the Morai, and
Well,
it's like, oh yeah, it just
it would
follows me.
make
now.
sense. It would make sense that the curator that was on Lothal talking to Sabine mentioned that there were references of this in the Jedi archives.
They probably did remember some of it because Ahsoka says that Morai saved her life, I think, at one point.
Right.
And she recognizes, I think, the bird when it first shows up too.
Always. Every time she's around, she's like, "Oh, Morai, what are you doing here?" Right? It's always a, I remember you because there are certain things, but ultimately there could have been older stuff in the archives from the old Republic.
I mean,
Or
if we're talking about treasure maps and shit of finding these ancient places, Luke was on Lothal and he couldn't even unlock the damn thing, which made that storyline in the Battlefront campaign. He has a compass, which comes back around in The Last Jedi. That compass is still there. He's been searching for the World Between Worlds too because he wanted to know what was inside it. Now, if Luke ever found it or not, that's a different story. He's still got it.
And that goes back to my original thought is that it's special to Ezra. It's Ezra. Ezra's the key, right? He took somebody behind the veil. That's why she can be around it, can see it, can enter it, whatever. But he's the key, man.
All right, let me challenge you. And I think we talked about this before, but what if it's Ezra and Ahsoka, and that's like the daughter and the son?
I mean,
representation.
Palpatine didn't say, Ahsoka, show me the way, right? Palpatine wasn't after Ahsoka with his dark magic. He was after Ezra.
He actually was after Ezra when they were both inside. Yeah,
I'm going to yes and you, Sheev, because I'm going to say that it's Ahsoka and Anakin, the daughter and the father. Those two are the keys because the father wanted Anakin to take his place. So if you put the Force Ghost in front of
Ezra's obviously part of the key though too.
Ezra's son. If you're I'm only talking
that's
about
what I'm saying.
The 2 points of the keys. You didn't mention 3. If we're talking just 2, yes, but yeah. To complete the keys, you do need Ezra.
Yeah, I think there's no reason to think that Ezra wasn't getting dragged back to Palpatine because he didn't know anything, right?
Well, I mean, they didn't know where Ahsoka was at the time too. Although, again, to your point, he was chasing. Maybe Ezra's easier to get. That's why he was going after him. But
it seems to me that his hands, it's funny because if you watch the scene, actually YouTube wouldn't let my video come through of that scene. That scene was copyrighted to the point where I couldn't even show it without audio, like in video form. So I stopped making it. But there's a scene in Rebels where the smoke grabs Ezra, and as he's pulling him closer to the portal, Palpatine's fingers are starting to break through the veil.
Yep.
And when Ahsoka slices the smoke, his hands burn and he has to pull away, right? So there's literally the connection from Ezra shows Palpatine how to break through the veil. So it's 100% Ezra.
And here's another thing to add to your point too, Obsession. In the very last episode, Palpatine actually unearths, I don't know if it's the same temple or a different one, but he finds it again and he tricks him or he shows him a different reality where his parents are alive. If had Ezra gone through that portal, Palpatine would have fought. He would have, he needed Ezra to go.
That was the ultimate power that he wanted, and he would have.
Well, and that's just it. That's what I'm saying is he put Ezra in this situation. You see Ezra start to light the doorway, right? You see him go there, but it's not a door so much as it is a mirror, right? A window.
Yo, hell the Allfather.
It's more like a window, right? And he can see what he wants to see, right? He sees the place he wants to go, but he knows it's not where he's supposed to be.
All right, Matt Cave, talk some sense in this session. Are we all mad for wanting a Star Wars multiverse? What's up, man?
We're talking Star Wars multiverse right now?
Yeah, we kind of tangent off for a little bit.
Well, we were talking Mandalorian, but then things happen.
I don't know. It got somehow it's because of Marvel. We talked about Marvel, and now it got to that point. You know what I mean?
Basically, it's chat's fault. Chat's drama.
It happens.
Well,
it happens.
Okay, so we'll now that Matt's here, we'll get back on. Will we say who saved Grogu from Order 66?
R2.
No, wait. Sorry. The very first thing that we talked about, we didn't ask Sheev about it either, was the domes. Are those flashbacks? What's up with that?
Okay,
situation?
yeah. Let's get back on track.
Start right at the beginning.
Yeah, let's go back to the beginning.
Do we got the pictures for reference or?
Yeah. I could pull some stuff.
Sure. Yeah, Sheev, keep talking.
Yeah.
I will say I was kind of debating if that's like a flashback or whatever. And at first I kind of thought, maybe this is a flashback of Sundari before all the war and everything. There was a little tweet that kind of went out there today where someone basically showed the Rebels sequence between Sabine and Ezra where they're talking about Sundari and talking about her homeworld of Mandalore. And, Ezra's like, dang, I didn't know your world looks like so torn up and messed up and whatnot. And she's like, well, yeah, like it used to be really green and luscious here, but then all the war kind of broke out and it never really got a chance to regrow from all the war that's been going on. And so basically I was thinking, well, maybe it's a flashback then, but then you kind of see what looks like Bo-Katan's ship. So maybe it's another planet. And I also was kind of thinking maybe because the Empire is, kind of gone, that it's had a chance to regrow. And I kind of, went back from that because obviously the Mandalorians are probably still going at each other. And then I started to think about it more. And we see a picture of Sundari in one of the other trailers all messed up. It is like straight up like a shell of itself. You know what I mean? So it almost has to be another planet, right? There you go.
Oh, my God.
So this is the shot everybody's talking about.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look to be raining at all.
Yeah.
So you see in the trailers earlier, you see Din Djarin flying into Mandalore, what looks like Mandalore, and it's pouring, right? And you can see it from Bo-Katan's perspective, sitting in her throne room. We get this shot. To me, Hawks and I talked about this earlier. To me, this looks like a flashback to a green Sundari. But not only that, and I'm not saying this is Sundari. This looks like a civilization on Mandalore pre-Empire. What I think, because Star Wars Meg, who's a boss at this shit, has speculated that Bo-Katan and Din Djarin are going to have some kind of magic or some kind of connection that is unseen until now, right? And so my thoughts with that is, okay, tugging at that thread, this scene here is the first time that Din Djarin goes to Mandalore as a foundling. This is the ship that carried him from getting rescued by the Mandalorians when his parents died. This is him going to the foundling camp where he is inducted and swears to the creed.
Because that looks like, isn't that the dome that Ahsoka fights Maul under?
No. The city of Sundari is huge. Like, this is not Sundari. Sundari was not surrounded.
Okay.
No, this seems like another camp.
Yeah,
Sundari wasn't surrounded by water.
Maul were on a very tall castle skyscraper.
Yeah, this is not. Sundari was huge. If you look at the dome of Sundari, It's humongous in comparison to this.
Gotcha. Either way,
Yeah,
this looks like a great shot. I mean, I'm thinking flashback as well, just because of how just lush everything is, and you know, it hasn't been destroyed yet.
Oh no, we're definitely
Who
gonna
got the shaft and has to live out in those little tiny domes on the sides? Why is there only like,
and I'm down for that.
what is the use for those?
Target practice. That's where they do target practice. Weapons training.
Mm.
Can't do it
One
in this.
of them's like a top golf or something.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
gotta have a top call.
But yeah, I mean, look, I think this city is definitely, it could be Concordia. You know, there's a lot of there are 1,000 planets.
I have another one to throw out there of what it could be. A lot
Yeah.
of fans are speculating on Twitter that it's a planet called Kalevala, sorry, which is the homeworld of Satine and Bo-Katan. So
Right.
that is definitely a possibility too. My only question from that though is would Bo then be here when Din meets her, or would she be on Mandalore in Sundari, where it looked like it was raining where Bo was, and it looked like it's raining where Sundari is, but then
that's why I don't think
she's
this
here
is
too.
part of that equation, because if you look at the cave scenes when Grogu is coming out and beating up that cave dweller, let's call him, you don't really see any lush green. When Din is flying over, you see a broken city of Sundari. You don't see lush green areas anywhere, right? It's almost like nuclear winter, so to speak, right? And so it's very much I feel like it's a different place. I really feel like this is the scene that this is showing us a flashback of Din arriving and becoming Mandalorian, because and this is what Hawks and I were talking about earlier, the Mandalorian foundlings are out there, right? Like this is something I think a lot of people are forgetting right now. But if you watch the trailer, and I'll pull up the scene, there is a whole group of foundlings running around in a camp.
Yeah, when you brought that up the other day, how is no one talking about that?
Well, that's what Hawks and I were talking about. How is no one talking about? And I'm going to pull it up. I think it's not official clip. It's not recap. Is it the new one? Is it Reunited? It might be. That one's a month ago.
When we jump back to it, I got a thought about the dome place.
It's how it began. No. It's the one that's titled. It's not Phenomenon. It's not how it began. It's not official clip. It must be this one. But this is the one that released like yesterday. That's not the one. That's not the one.
Yeah, it's the one where it's like the big guy. He's pulling up the big machine gun.
Yeah, but no one's talking about it at all. Like, it's crazy. And it's, it's a scene where you see them protecting the younglings, right? So we're going to go through it all.
Wait, what?
Yeah, no one's talking about it. No one's talking about the fact that we see foundlings in this show. We see him pulling up to a camp right there.
Right there. Yep.
Whoa, that was a bunch of little kids.
Thank you. I know, right? And this is exactly what I was talking about the other day.
Did they just add them? Because I remember seeing the shot of the big guy shooting.
There it is right there. So look, you see right here, there's a foundling.
Yeah, they're all wearing little helmets.
Yeah. So no one is talking about this shit. No one, not a single soul is talking about this shit right now.
Man, F them kids.
Right?
Yeah.
No one's talking about this. No one cares. But
it went by in a heartbeat, and you guys were the only ones that noticed.
So here's the thing, right? So this scene right here for me is clutch. Okay, so here's I'm gonna break down what I think is coming. Yeah, my guy, everybody missed the foundlings. Everybody and their mama is so busy with the bang bangs and the ships and all this. Everybody missed the foundlings. So basically, this scene here is where right after he goes to Tatooine, right? He goes to Tatooine to get Red 5 because he needs an older Navi computer. right? So he gets Red 5. They go to where these guys are to find the armorer. This is where the armorer's camp is. So all the scenes we see in the desert with Mandalorians, they're all protecting this camp of younglings and foundlings. Din goes into the cave with Bo-Katan when she finds the armorer. So I don't know if he goes here first. These people tell him where the armor is. He goes and gets Bo and then goes to see the armor, because Bo and the armor are in the scene in the trailer. I don't know if you guys caught that one either. I just did a video on that. But
So
Bo and
that's
the armor are going to be in the same space.
can we?
Yeah,
so
I figured they would be at some point.
there is so much shit to get into, man. Like, is this season gonna reveal the armor is my shorty that served Maul? Can't remember her name.
Rook.
Root cast.
That's what a lot of people are thinking.
Yeah, Rook cast.
I'm because she
It
got.
could be a different Mandalorian potentially.
Yeah,
I
She's
think
still
it
right
is.
with the Vizsla. She's
Right.
still with the Vizsla.
but
Still.
Yeah, he's still with a Vizsla,
No.
my guy. It's the same. It's the same.
that would be
Got it.
lame as hell if it was just a random new character. I need her to be
It's
something.
definitely not.
Mhm.
So this is the scene that got me real excited. We get to see the minds of Mandalore,
The man.
right? So I did a
Right.
video the other day, and it was talking about how the mines are empty, and Bo-Katan wasn't telling Din like it's all gone, talking about Mandalore.
Mhm.
They're specifically talking about Beskar in the mines.
Right.
Right?
So not Bo. Then he's going to this place to get his honor back. He comes back, and then we have our square off with Bo,
No, Bo, I think
right? Because we still got business to handle in season 2. Somebody
no,
got
I think this is after. I think this is after the both scene, because he comes in when it's raining and he's drenched. He walks into her throne room and she's like, "Get out of here! All the Beskar's gone down in the mine." And he's like, "I have to go down anyway. Like
Look
I don't. It
just to
doesn't
the
matter."
left of
He's
my
only
helmet
saying
there.
that so he will go, I think.
Well,
Just
I mean,
to the left of his helmet, is that glowing stuff from the Bad Batch?
big
If
That
see
they were
him?
siphoning?
Mhm.
big bitch.
That blurry green thing over there. What?
Obsidian,
That Ipsium or Ipsidium or
Ipsium.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's called
Reach,
Ipsium,
baby.
but
Reach all
I
the
don't
way.
think so. Maybe.
It's
Yeah,
the
it
old
seems-
green Kyber's
Maybe.
crystal from.
Well, and here's what I like. I like the fact that Grogu goes with him to the mines. We see that later on in the trailer, right? We see Grogu coming out, right? He's hanging out in the mines with Din. Here's what I like. Here's the theory that Hawks and I have been on this like crazy. Here's the train that I'm on. Din Djarin with the Darksaber and Grogu find a chamber that only a Force user could find, because Tar Vizsla was a Mandalorian Jedi. And much like Cordova and some of these other Joe Costanu and these other Jedi made their own like libraries or sanctuaries on different planets. Why wouldn't he, as the leader of Mandalore, have a lair commissioned for him?
Mhm.
And then
Oh,
and
shit.
then much like Jedi Fallen Order, you see all of these rooms that are covered by Force. You can unveil them using the Force. So it seems like Grogu's in a perfect position after learning a little bit to help Din unlock a chamber
Mm.
that could lead to a vein of high purity Beskar, and could
Oh, that was
potentially unlock the chamber to the last mythosaur. Right?
I'm gonna go to Pluto. I'm gonna go to Pluto with it too. What it like we don't know where black kyber crystals come from. What if one just says, "Hey Grogu, what's up? How you doing, baby?"
Yo,
They call to
Yo.
they call to the Force user.
I
Mhm.
didn't even think about there being.
I don't want to diminish the Darksaber. I'm just saying. Mandalorian Jedis, maybe they're the only ones.
Mm.
So you're saying that there's
sick.
more dark
It
crystals?
would explain
more
it would
dark
explain
sabers?
why these Mandalorians need to focus so hard on the weight
Can
of
we
the
talk
sword.
just a bit more about
I don't know.
this thing? Because I feel like that's not going to be the only creature they encounter.
Yo, that creature looks like those underground people from the Time Machine. Remember those things? What were those guys called?
Oh, you're talking about not the.
Did I just date
Which
myself? Am I
movie
the old
Time
man?
Machine? There's like
You're
12.
not talking about the TARDIS, are you?
That one
No,
movie with the time
I'm talking
machine, you know?
I'm talking the Time Machine. the original. The original time machine where he's got the underground cave people. They're all attacking all of them. I'm the old man here, aren't I? Holy
Yeah.
crap!
Mhm.
I'm
I
old.
might have missed that.
What the hell are you talking about?
So I think
Somebody in
this is
chat saved me.
I think this is also the foundling location, right? This is all
Okay.
where the armor is. This is all where the foundlings are. All of this is okay. So here's the scene I was talking about. Here's the scene I made my short about. They cut this part brilliantly, right?
Mhm.
So to me, before I get into it, this scene to me seems like this is a moment where Din Djarin walks in, right? All the Mandalorians let him in to see the armorer. He goes in to see the armorer, and Bo-Katan is with him. Bo-Katan and her have a fight.
Mhm.
Bo-Katan disarms her, because she's swinging her smithy hammer. Bo-Katan disarms her. Din says enough and gives her smithy hammer back. Right. So that's the context at which I believe this scene takes place. Right. So they jump. I'm even gonna put the sound on for this.
Ooh.
But they illustrated this so brilliantly.
This is the way.
You gotta.
Okay, too far.
Did he just say yep?
This is the way.
You gotta throw it up on. You gotta put it on the screen.
Finally,
Everybody's
talk.
been. I think I just heard that for the first time, and I've
Let's
seen this trailer
fucking
like
go.
12
That's
times.
Yeah, when she says this is the way, he's like, hold on. He's like,
Yep.
I heard it months
One more
ago.
time obsession. One
All right,
It was
here we
in
go.
another little TV spot.
All right, so here it is.
That was cute.
This is the context. If you look in the background, he's handing her the smithy hammer because Bo-Katan just whooped that ass. Okay.
Ooh.
This is the way. This
You see that helmet back there?
Uh-huh.
You see that helmet back there?
Peeking.
Hmm.
Peeking
Got the
around.
owl.
Brilliant.
And you got to catch it like just there it is.
I have another theory. I don't know. Maybe the two will fight. They'll probably throw hands. But
It just seems like why would he be handing her the smithy hammer? Right?
what if he was building? What if because it's a Planet 2 or whatever the heck? Like Grogu's finally getting his helmet, and Din has to be the one to forge it.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem like that seems a little
That's
far.
probably a stretch. I'm just saying.
That's a reach, my guy.
I didn't get Bo-Katan beating up the armor vibes, but that's probably what's happening.
I mean, look, you got to feel like these two have serious beef, right? Like these two have beef back to the mall days, right?
Probably because they were both
How could you?
right?
You're a traitor. You're a traitor, right? Like they're basically saying the same thing to each other, right? Like you're a traitor. No, you're a traitor, right? Like they're literally. I think they have to get it out, right? So it seems like as soon as Bo-Katan comes around the corner, I think the armor goes at her. Din's got to stop it after Bo-Katan is going to kill her. And he's like, look, you need to we're going back. And that's when he says this, right? Because he says it.
is the way.
He says it immediately after. He's like, he's telling her, I'm going back to Mandalore, right? In that scene, we've seen it before. He tells her, I'm going back to Mandalore and I want you to come with me, right? So it seems to me that
That's the perfect setup right there. As soon as they'll team up, take back Mandalore. But then after that, I am telling you right now, Bo-Katan wants that motherfucking Darksaber, bruh. Once the dust settles, it's a wrap. She gonna clap, then I'm telling you right now, I had to catch myself. She needs that thing, bro. And it's over with for them. Over with.
well, and there's one more scene, right, that I want to show and we've all seen it. It's been all over. We've seen it in all the trailers.
Unless he brings back his Bridger roots and defeats her.
So this is my theory. This scene where we see Din Djarin walking out from behind this cave. I think this is after he's coming out of the armorer's cave.
Okay.
I think this is after and all of these Mandalorians are gonna go are going to follow him. Like, this is the point where we're going back. We're going home. Everybody's going
Oh
home.
man.
Enough
So
of
do you
this
think
shit.
he's already into the mines at this point?
No, I think he's taking them back so they can witness him going. I think the reason he's doing it in
Okay,
this order is
they'll all
because
be
he's
there.
taking everybody with him so that they can witness him cleansing himself.
One more thing. So
If no one sees it, it means nothing.
this squad right here, are these supposed to be different clans coming together, or are these the same boys that dumped their helmets back in season 1?
No, those guys are dead. I think everybody that was all the helmets that they found were dead.
I thought they just
Well,
peeled. Yeah,
the helmets they found, I think, are for sure probably Dunzo. Those guys are probably Dunzo, and they sacrificed themselves in the battle against all the dudes when Grogu was getting out of there,
So they can escape.
to basically let them escape. However, a ton of them did survive, because even Din asked the armor, he's like, "Oh, like did any survive?" She's like, "I hope so," kind of thing. But we know for a fact they do, because I was watching season 1 the other day, and there's some from season 1 that are definitely in the season 3 trailer.
Well, and like Paz Vizsla. Paz was one of those people, and
Paz was there.
You know, so it seems like where she goes, they go, right? Like whoever's left when they reach out, because that's what she was saying when Mando found her during the Boba episode,
but I feel like Paz still wants, even though he got beat. I don't know. I feel like he still wants.
But that's the curse of the Darksaber. The Darksaber is both pride and curse of Mandalore. Pride being you are the Mandalore, you are the ruler, you are the rightful heir taken if the weapon is taken during battle, right? You are Mandalore. But it's a curse that everybody's always coming at you, right? That's the Game of Thrones aspect of this. Everybody wants the throne, but the throne isn't a seat, it's a weapon. So you have to get the person that's got it. And so that's why they talk about this show, specifically the Mandalorians, like the Game of Thrones. We're going to see a lot of Game of Thrones. A lot of people will challenge for this thing. We've already seen it. He's only had it 10 minutes. And Paz Vizsla was up his skirt saying, "Yo, give me that shit." Right? Like,
but the other thing too is Paz,
if anyone did deserve it, it was Vizsla. Keep it real.
He got his ass kicked. He got his ass kicked.
He did.
But plain and simple. Like, you're a big dude and you're this and that. I whooped your ass while you had the sword in your hand, right? So it's not always the key weapon in the fight, right?
It's the story that's more powerful than the weapon itself.
Correct. It's holding that means more than using it. You don't have to use it consistently. You just have to. It's like a crown. It's basically the Mandalorian crown. You don't see them wearing crowns. They wear helmets. You don't see the lead. You didn't see the Duchess or even Maul wearing a crown, a Mandalorian helmet with a crown. No, it was the saber is the crown. Hold the saber. You rule the empire.
Vizsla's daddy and his daddy and his forebears created that goddamn saber.
Couldn't hold on to it. That's why he got his ass whooped.
Talk your shit.
He got his ass whooped. Pre-Vizsla got his ass whooped. Paz Vizsla got his ass whooped. You know what I'm hearing about the? You know what I hear about the Vizsla line? They get their fucking ass whooped. That's their That's their motto. Get your ass whooped. If you're Vizsla, get your ass whooped.
Don't let the Vizsla hear you say that. Oh shit.
Maybe that's the legacy of House Vizsla. Get your ass whooped. Buy a bunch of girls. Buy a bunch of non-believers. Get your ass whooped.
Golly. So how did the first Vizsla lose then? Because
he died.
That's what I want to know. Because
Tar
that's what I'm saying.
Died.
Like,
Tar Vizsla died at some point, and his saber was
died,
on
but they didn't
Jedi
say he
Temple.
died in battle. Maybe it was
well, we don't know. We don't know. He died at some point.
And then
all I'm saying is he might have been the only Vizsla that didn't get his ass whooped.
The Jedi.
And this shit just started getting passed around when the Muggles got involved. Like, let's not get it twisted.
Do you really think that Tar Vizsla probably didn't die in old age or getting stabbed in the back?
Don't you bring my wizards into this shit, man. Leave them.
Ooh,
Tar Vizsla dies. The Jedi say, "Oh man, you're the first Mandalorian ever. We're gonna honor you. We're gonna put your badass, one of a kind, unique sounding, looking, fighting everything Darksaber in the archives, and we're gonna treasure that shit. And the Mandalorians were like, give me that's mine, give me my lightsaber, right? And they went and liberated it. They thieves. They stole it.
They stole
Dude,
it.
when did Obsession get possessed by Eddie Murphy? What did I
Right.
miss earlier?
They
today?
stole it.
He's playing every character right now.
Hercules, Hercules.
But yeah, man. Look, it's definitely an exciting time, right? I mean, this show has the world on fire, right? This show has everybody, all the fandom can agree that they're excited about it.
God damn it, Matt Cave. Now I need a cameo with Eddie Murphy playing Tar Vizsla. If I don't get it, I'm
Please, I will take that.
Look, and they're not just putting their money on this show. They're making shorts with Sabine and her brother on the Tar Vizsla statues, talking about how about him with when she has the Darksaber. So in that split time where she has the Darksaber before she gives it to Bo-Katan, she's using it to liberate a statue of Tar Vizsla from the Empire, right? So they're doubling down on this Darksaber lore. They're doubling down on Tar Vizsla, and honestly, I would not be surprised if some point we get a Old Republic show where we see a young Tar Vizsla, right? And we see the
We need a
Darksaber
flashback soon.
in action.
One of these times, we're gonna see some crazy shit.
Oh, I got a thing about the
Eddie
flashbacks.
Murphy. Okay.
Let's go, Matt. Tee it up.
So, in prior Star Wars releases, as things have come out, I've had my reaching moments, and I got one for you. I'm really reaching here, but I got one for you. Here's what my inner Star Wars child is asking for right now with flashbacks in this show. And it's my theory of what the break the internet moment will be. When compared to Luke arriving. We're getting flashbacks. We're going to see Bo.
Terrified.
We're definitely going to get young Bo, which means we should get Satine in live action. But that's not all.
Corky.
I think, and here it comes, guys. Here it comes.
Young Obi-Wan.
De-aged Obi-Wan with Satine. De-aged Ewan McGregor is popping up in this show with Satine. I'm calling it right now.
You're a bold one.
I am calling it right now. I think that's the break the internet moment.
At an end, your rule is.
Look,
old enough it was.
That's a good idea. I like the idea. I feel like if we see that, I feel like those two could be at odds already, right? Because Bo-Katan is very much of the strength, power, and honor Mandalorian Death Watch, and we see, Satine is more of the more of the diplomatic, more of the Padme, if you will, of the group. So it'd be interesting. Oh, there you go. See, there you go. Din is not Corky.
No.
from Life Goes On. What are we talking about?
Do you guys like the theory that Corky is Obi-Wan's love child?
Hell yeah. That's why I was excited.
I love it, but wouldn't he have been Force sensitive by now?
That's not how Force works.
It's not how the Force works.
Wouldn't they have seen some kind of Force sensitivity? Come on, man. Anakin got a Muggle pregnant, and look what all powerful that came out of that.
I mean, shit. Corky and Omega, there's your badass white armor blue Mandalorian.
Anakin and Obi-Wan are different there, though. One of them was
obsession
by the Force. The other one is just a guy.
Everybody knows that only the Skywalker bloodline can pass on that kind of power.
I guess.
And the power.
He has a long lost brother.
Skywalker DNA passes through to the next generation. Obviously, the Force only passes through Skywalker.
He has thick
DNA.
blood.
I always wanted
the other thing is
explain his brother Sheev is that Rick Grimes from The Walking Dead. I know he wanted to be in Star Wars. I always thought he would make a good brother.
Rick Grimes would come in there.
And
I feel like it's more a nod to Ewan's actual brother because he's like a pilot that goes by Obi-2 instead of Obi-Wan. Yeah, but I don't know. To my point though, with the like, it might not all pass down. There's been countless Star Wars stories, and maybe they're not canon, but where there's two siblings, and one of them ends up as a Force sensitive, and the other one doesn't. So,
So is there a secret love child of Obi-Wan's that we're not knowing about?
Ooh.
Obi-Wan.
and the other thing is
is
too,
saved.
if you don't know you're Force sensitive, no one's ever going to train you to use the Force.
Well,
You know what I
okay,
mean?
let's go back to the Last Jedi. That little boy grabs. There you go. That's perfect. That little boy grabs the broom with the Force. He don't know nothing. He just knows, hey, I can move things with my hand. Come here.
Yeah.
Right.
He's
So
coming
you don't
back.
got to be taught to start showing your abilities, right? I mean, that's kind of one of the things that Kenobi says in the Kenobi show are his powers showing, right? Like
Mhm.
that's a thing. So, I mean, we could see Satine. I don't think there's enough time for all that.
Oh, they make time. They're gonna make time.
Because what's her purpose in the show at that point?
Filler.
They don't need
well,
filler.
Not
yeah,
a
the
filler,
show
a cameo.
it's gonna be
She would, but here's the thing: Satine would never be on a Death Watch camp, right? That's
No.
if that's the flashback we're getting. She would never be at a Death Watch camp.
It
Right?
could go before that though, to before she joined the Death Watch, and kind of show her like maybe she had daddy issues or something, and that's why she like rebelled and ran off.
'cause
But
Bo
then
was jealous
you
of
don't
her.
get your Obi-Wan. So
I'm about to say,
you stay
'cause
too far back, there's no Obi-Wan. You stay too
The
far in the
only
timeline,
way
can't.
I can see your theory working, Matt Cave, is if they confirm that Corky is Obi-Wan.
The love child.
has to be both, man. Has
Right.
to be both.
Yeah, you can't have one without the other. They're
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
they're inverted.
Where'd who go?
Where'd who go? Okay, so okay, where else are we going to see? We know we're going to go to Mandalore. We see this other camp. We're going to Navarro. We're going to Navarro, right? So is there gonna be, so here's the question of the day, and this could anger the rebellion. Are we going to see a statue of Cara Dune somewhere on Navarro showing she dead?
Let it go. Let it go.
I don't think they're going to mention. I'm still going with they're not even going to. Yeah, they're not.
I don't think Disney wants anything to do with the actress, so no, they're not going to make a statue.
Don't make me bring out the accent again, please.
Yeah, don't make the accent come out again. God damn it!
Don't make me do it.
I don't want to do it. Go, baby Jesus. Sweet baby Jesus, don't make me do it again.
No, they won't.
Okay, so no Cara Dune. Okay,
if it's gonna be anything, it's gonna be a passing thing from like Carson Teva, like Cara Dune died on a mission to go do this or something. But that's gonna be the furthest that they'll even mention her. I think.
You don't think that scene in Homeboy's office was like, oh, I got this beautiful plot of land, and he's like, where's Cara's plot? And he's like, oh, girl, she dead.
And they just pan to Bill Burr, and he just breaks down crying. He's like,
let's do it.
Oh, definitely bring back Bill Burr.
I agree. I love Bill Burr.
Yeah, it'd be so good.
It fits in, sure.
My favorite scenes with him are the scenes where they're wearing Imperial armor, and he's like, oh, what would they say on Mandalore? Yeah. Oh, for shame.
Yes, that part was amazing.
Like, that's my favorite shit in that whole episode. Is like, it has nothing to do with what it was. It was like, oh, the Mandalorians would be ashamed of us. Right? Like, he's just razzing him and poking at him every minute. It's perfect.
I was just watching that episode, rewatching that just the other night, too.
Oh, man.
So good.
Mayfield is hysterical. Like, I will take that guy 3 times a season, no doubt, no question.
I have a Black Series figure of him.
Awesome. Oh, he's fantastic. So we're gonna go to Tatooine. We got to get Red 5, right? That's the only reason we're going back to Tatooine. We may talk to Boba. We may talk to Boba.
I was gonna say.
We may talk to Boba, but don't you think if Boba was going to Mandalore with him, they'd have just taken the slave?
Well, so that's what I was going to ask earlier when it looked like maybe the foundlings were on a desert planet. I was like, do you think that Boba was like well, I can be a Mandalorian too, and you guys can stay with me now that Mandalore's gone.
Nah, because they're in the it's not like they're in the city or anything. They're in the desert hiding. Like they're hiding in caves, right? They're still in the coverts. They're not out, right? Like they're still hiding.
It looked like they were out fighting something, but
well, they were. It looked like they were getting landed on, is what it was. I mean, you see an N1 starfighter that's like packing a punch, right?
Well,
you hear that thing from space, it's like, right? It sounded like the Bulba speeder, man. That thing's got some juice.
Love it.
But yeah, I mean, it seems like to me the ship change is happening, right? So we're getting away from the N1. The N1 has only served a purpose for just a moment. He needs a ship that can carry more people. It seems like maybe Paz and that crew might have shot down his N1, not knowing it was him. And that after he goes to see the armor, they give him the Mandalorian starfighter, right? It's I don't know the ship designation, so I'm awful with that. But it seems like they give him that ship. And that's what he's rocking after the visit to the armor the first time. But we're going to Tatooine. We're going to Navarro. We're going to Mandalore. Anywhere else that anybody's seen? Any planets anybody else has seen yet?
Yeah, Coruscant.
Oh, we haven't even talked about the big
I agree with
in
you.
the room.
It definitely looks like Coruscant, and I think it could be. But do you think it could be Hosnian Prime? If since it is kind of leading to the sequels and everything.
No, that looks like Coruscant, man.
Dude, have you seen Hosnian Prime? It looks just like Coruscant.
I remember when I first saw that movie, I was like, "Oh man, they just blew up Coruscant. That's crazy."
And everybody thought that.
Yeah,
more of not so much of a imperial like stronghold. Wasn't it more like
no?
liberal?
It became like the capital, dude.
The capital after the New Republic. That's what I'm saying. Was that a rebellion, like almost like a sanctuary for rebellions during the Empire?
Maybe that's where they're keeping off Gideon because Dr. Erskine is flying by.
Yeah, for sure. I think that definitely could be the case.
Yeah, they got to be holding him somewhere.
I think he gets out Republic prison. Oh yeah, of course he does. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to see where they take us. But either way, that's an elephant in the room that nobody's really talked about is the chatter of the First Order, right? The chatter of a new power rising. Meg, I don't know if it was Meg the other day or who it was that was talking about who found Grogu. It could be, it could be a dark side user.
Oh fuck yes! I was hoping we were going to get here. Okay,
it could be Vader or Palps because they talk about, his mind going dark, and like I said, I want to credit Meg, but it could have been somebody else. Was saying that capturing Grogu, basically stuffing him in a bag, and taking him to Tantus, where they kept him basically in the dark.
Yeah, so when you asked earlier who do we think saves Grogu, I was gonna, butt in and be like, does anybody save Grogu? Like,
yeah,
to me it looks like Grogu's gonna get nabbed. He's gonna get taken.
Didn't Ahsoka flat out say somebody saved him from the temple?
She uses the word took.
Yeah, someone took him from the temple.
Yeah. So I think that's implied that, he got saved.
And I think his mind going dark can be two things. It can be one, he like overexert energy. You know how he passes out.
He was
in a moment
from the
trying
temple,
to save himself, or someone just doing what Obi-Wan.
Imagination. Okay.
How is that imagination? He's literally.
How was it not?
Someone took him from the temple. That doesn't mean it's a good person or a bad person. She just said someone took him from the temple.
Look,
Exactly.
I'm still holding true to my guy R2, right? I'm still sticking to my guns.
I think it's R2.
That R2 took him.
R2's not a someone. He's a something.
Yo, you don't say that, right? You don't say that.
You don't say that.
You don't talk about my guy R2 like that. You don't say that.
My guy right there. You don't say that.
Canceled.
Cancel you. You don't say that. Look. Calling him a thing. It's like calling Chopper a thing. Chopper's not a thing.
He's the most dangerous thing in the galaxy.
Chopper is a
Put the
badass.
body count of R2D2 against that little C10 droid any day of the week.
Oh my goodness.
R2
You don't want
yo.
to do that to yourself.
R2 is a ride or die.
All right,
R2 is
chat.
savage.
R2 versus Chopper. Who wins?
Go ahead. You know what? We're gonna use an Opus poll. Here we go. R2.
Oh boy.
R2.
That's easy
or
money.
Chop.
In on this.
I got 20 on R2.
There we go.
Yeah,
There it is,
buddy.
Only
Use
only
your
thing that
words,
this
Pat. Don't be angry like us. Use your words, okay? R2
the only thing
for
that
life.
this is gonna expose is the lack of people who have actually watched Rebels.
R2 for life. Oh my god. So yeah, man, look, it's for me it's R2 or bust. I think the celebration during the Mando season finale, it seems like
There we go. There we go.
it seems like Grogu was very nervous
Liars.
about
All of
going
you.
with Luke, and then
That's
all of a
what
sudden
people
Go
R2
watch
shows up,
Rebels.
and it's like, homie, yo, and then they dance a little bit and they party a little bit, and that's it. So to me, it's just that seems like a little Dave Filoni smoke signal right there, right? That seemed like a little Dave Filoni. Is Sheev just padding his votes here?
No, what do you mean?
what's going on?
R2's in the
Explain
lead.
to me.
Is he padding his votes? I
R2's
just
in
see
the
him
lead. How am I
smiling, piping
padding
in the
Respect the poll,
I-
Sheev.
I
Respect
see
the
this
poll.
in the background of Sheev, and he's just smiling.
Yeah.
I'm like, is he padding his vote? But yeah, man, look,
R2 like unlocks a couple doors and like hooks them up with the elevator. What are we
yo,
comparing
R2
here?
beat
You disrespectful mother lover.
R2 beat up
R2
B2 battle droids by himself
I was
with
gonna
no
say,
help.
one of my favorite parts of
Monos
Revenge of the
a
Sith.
monos. He beat up two B2s by himself.
All
Right?
right. Two of them.
That's it. Two of them
So
by himself.
how many of choppers are you going to take away for those two? Okay, keep
I mean,
going.
come on, bro.
I'll wait.
I never saw
Keep going.
Chopper
I'll
go.
wait.
I never saw Chopper be like, put out his little arms and go. Let's
Exactly,
go.
Are you
bro.
kidding
The
me?
Sith
How
has
many,
it.
how many
Chopper is
fights
a war
does
criminal,
R2
bro.
keep for the galaxy, man?
That's it. I'm calling it a tie. That's it.
No.
That's fair, but I will say, but last note, there's a scene when the Inquisitors are.
His body count is too high.
It is. He literally almost kills Inquisitors at the end of season 2.
Yes.
Oh,
It's
all right.
Mandalorian,
It's
the
over.
body of a droid.
That's over.
It's too,
BB-8
it's too
it is.
overpowered.
BB-8 wins. That's it.
Oh.
I'm calling it.
BB-8.
Yeah.
Yo, BB-8 took out all of them riding a.
Yeah, with the
Oh,
Scout Walker. Yeah.
Thank you. BB-8 did it with no shields, no nothing, all by himself.
I mean,
Oh,
in
man.
Battlefront 2, I've taken out Palpatine with BB-8, so I'm just
Just saying, he's very underrated. The electricity coming through BB-8 trumps Palpatine's first electricity.
Unlimited power.
It's unlimited power. He's been hanging out with too many gonk droids. That's what's going on with BB-8. I do say though, I think it's baller that we understand more of Chopper's dialogue than we do any other droid, right? Like that's my favorite thing is you can always tell what Chop is saying when he looks back at somebody like, Chop, do something. He's like, for real?
You do it.
You
Like
do
you
it.
can always hear his dialogue in your own head every time. And I think that's more brilliant writing by Dave.
It's great.
It was well done.
Okay, will we see any lightsabers other than the Darksaber this season of Mandalorian?
Oh, in the Order 66 flashback, but then
Aside
outside
from
of
the
that,
66 flashbacks,
Yeah.
I mean like
outside of that,
pairing against the Darksaber.
Not to the
Question.
Ahsoka show.
Oh, like clashing against the dark
Yeah,
side?
like clashing.
Oh no. I
Yeah.
doubt it.
yeah, I think that all gets saved for the Ahsoka show.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that's
Mm.
what end of the year, right? That's like November,
Yeah,
December.
like August, September, October, somewhere in the
And-
back half.
Mhm.
I don't know if we could see Luke with his lightsaber out
I was gonna say
potentially,
that.
but I don't think it's gonna be clashing with the dark saber by any means, unless he's training him, which would
Yeah,
be
I
My
don't
cool,
see
but-
the training shit happening.
I was
No,
more
neither do I.
leaning towards a Sabine sighting and her having Ezra's lightsaber still
What the fuck?
and saying, look, because like you said, he needs training with the saber also. And she is technically trained
He's
with the
used
dark
it.
saber, so she knows some of the forms and
That would make me happy.
That would be a little
Hey, right there on cue.
something, because she does still have
dope.
Ezra's lightsaber, right? Chopper gives it to her in the final scene, and she basically keeps it. So I think it would be awesome if we did see Din Djarin and Sabine meet at some point, and she's like, "Hey, I used to train with that thing. You need some pointers?" Because that's the total attitude she would come out with, right? She'd be like, "Oh, I used to hang out with that thing. Let me give you some tips." And he's like, "Well, what are you going to help me with?" And she just pulls out Ezra's saber. I got one of my own. Don't worry about it, right? That would be.
They should be well on their way to finding him, though, right? They're not hanging out during this.
No, yeah, they should be well on their way. Yeah.
I mean, she's got Ahsoka, got Grogu on his way. She's now leaving Luke's area.
No, not really, because if
we don't know when that scene was set.
If my theory holds true,
go ahead.
Immediately after she beats up Thrawn's lackey, is when she gets the Beskar staffs, gives one to Din Djarin, takes a ceremonial one with the hoop, and goes to get Sabine.
Ceremonial one with a hoop?
Yeah,
I like that
about?
The last scene.
What the heck did that come from? When did the Mandalorian have that?
The last scene in Rebels, you see Ahsoka with a staff. That's a Beskar staff.
But
that would be cool.
Because if that's the case,
that's news to me.
That's a Beskar staff.
She comes back to visit Luke, though. So I think all this shit with Sabine happens after her appearances after she sees Luke is when she goes to see Sabine.
Right, but that's after she beats that ass, right? That's after she meets Din Djarin, right? Is the Luke scene is after.
You flat out said after she beats the witch's ass is when she goes to see Sabine.
Right. Okay. But Luke, we've already seen Luke as the next thing. Like she makes a stop there to see Grogu.
After all of that.
Yeah.
I think after that is she's on her way. Like she's got her own ship, right? Yep. She's on her way. But the Beskar staff she gets from Din. She gets from, I don't remember her name. It's Bruce Lee's daughter.
Magistrate.
Right? The Magistrate. The Magistrate has the way that I see this playing out is there's more than one of those Beskar staffs in her quarters, right? Obviously, those are stolen or made after the purge. So Thrawn was such a collector of items. I could see one of his lackeys taking a Beskar staff from Mandalore as a prize, and then making a weapon that looks like.
Hear me out. I've been trying to think. I've been trying to think about how this would work for a long time because I'm like, well, Sabine was on Lothal from the time Ezra left to basically whenever that epilogue was. She literally says, I think straight up, like, I never left. It's like she never left.
Yeah, she talks about the war in Endor and everything.
Yeah, so she always stayed on Lothal in case the Empire ever came back, but obviously we see she stayed there, it seems like, until Ahsoka comes to get her, which I've always wondered, how the heck does she actually stay away from the Mandalore and her people for so long, just sitting there, you know what I mean, waiting for the Empire. So I feel like she would go off with Ahsoka and be like, we definitely got to find Ezra, but there's something going down with the Mandalorians right now, especially like if we actually are going to see them in the Mandalorian. I think the way that it can make the most sense is if Ahsoka and Sabine are going off. Who are two characters in the Mandalorian that are close or like at least know of Ahsoka? Bo-Katan and Din Djarin.
Oh.
Hera's not. When did Hera show up in the Mandalorian?
I thought you just wanted us to name characters that
No, I'm just saying, like, Din Djarin and Bo-Katan both have a connection to Ahsoka, or at least know of her, and I think the two of them could be like, well, maybe we need her help along the way with something. I don't know what the heck that's going to lead to, but I'm just saying, if the two of them are going to show up, this would be how I would do it, is, have the two of them be like, we need Ahsoka's help. They go get Ahsoka, and guess who's with her at that point? Sabine.
So there was
Sabine's not just staying on Lothal either just to protect Lothal. She's staying there because she knows if Ezra ever was able to get away on his own, he's coming back there She wants to be there the day he arrives. You know what I mean? I think she held on to that for a while. She
And there
like
was
her
speculation.
finding him is the
She
most
did
important
straight up
thing.
say that she stayed just in case the Empire came back, but that's definitely probably part of it too.
Yeah.
You know what
I
I mean?
like to think that she kept in touch with the people, but I think there was speculation back in season 2 where we didn't know what the fuck was going on with Ezra and whatnot. Ahsoka, they were saying that Ahsoka, when she comes in, that she's on a planet training Sabine and Ezra. That was just something that was thrown out there. So maybe Ahsoka and Sabine could be back in season 3 of Mando.
Well, and like I was
That's
saying, this is the staff I'm talking about. This isn't Ahsoka carrying a weapon for her.
I knew what staff you're talking about. It just didn't connect that the magistrate would have that staff. I was thinking about it now. What if she gets that staff in season 3 of the
That is
Mandalorian?
not Ahsoka the Gray. It's Ahsoka the White.
Either way, Ahsoka brings her this as a weapon, right?
That staff has differing widths.
Huh?
I just noticed down
It's
by her
ribbed.
hand, it's thicker.
Yeah.
But
Well, what if it's retractable? What if it is a weapon?
well, I mean, look at the one we look at the one we saw Luthen carry. Luthen carried something that looked and acted like a Mandalorian version of a lightsaber, right? Luthen was carrying a weapon that was not traditional. My point being is, if Ahsoka is coming to get Sabine to go find Ezra, she doesn't know what happened after Ezra left her, right? She's been in the dark as to what happened. She just knows she has to go to Lothal to find Ezra because she doesn't know what happened to Ezra. She goes to Lothal, she finds Sabine and brings her something of she's a Mandalorian. She gave one to Din. She's not just going to leave these things hanging out. She brings this to Sabine, not knowing she has Ezra's lightsaber, right? Ahsoka doesn't know that Ezra doesn't have his lightsaber. So in this moment, it seems like this is a defensive weapon for Sabine to carry, much like Din was using the staff before he got the darksaber. So for me, that's how I read this.
Just a little bit. I'm going to diverge just a little bit. Your concern about Mandalore being unprotected, Sheev. We don't know what happened to Ketso Anyo, Sabine Wren's sister. Maybe she was on good terms with him. So while Sabine is on with all, her sister is protecting.
She had a brother, right? Not a sister.
Well, she had a lot of family in Mandalore still, which is like why I've always been so weirded by the fact she stays on Lothal. I'm like,
well, she made a promise.
I'm talking about.
She for sure made a promise, but
yeah.
she never leaves.
Well, I mean, look, she promised to protect Ezra's people. She promised to protect Lothal. And like you said, she was kind of waiting for Ezra to come back. Promises to her between her and Ezra were like thick, right? Like when they said something to one another, it wasn't like, hey, do this if you have time. It was like, no, I'm going to do it because you asked me to. It seems here that this time is very interesting because it is 5-6 years after the Empire, right? We just saw Ahsoka coming out of the woodwork, right? So we don't know exactly when this scene is. We've always suspected it was immediately after the Empire fell. But
it could be much later because
it could be years later.
Like Brandon was mentioning in the chat, Rebels ends 1 year before Rogue One, which is right before A New Hope. So this scene may not even come into existence until like
years
the
later.
very end of all this. Like this.
Well, I will say at Celebration they did reveal one image of the Ahsoka show, or a few images, and one of the few images they showed was of Sabine looking at the mural. So we know that's going to be probably
I've
in
showed
the Ahsoka
that.
show.
But that's just a live action version of that same scene. It doesn't mean it takes place earlier. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is it likely is taking place in the Ahsoka show if at some point? You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think we will see either of those characters in this season. I really think they will wait until Ahsoka to break those characters out. I don't think we'll see Ahsoka this season at all. With her show coming out, I think they're saving all the hype for that.
If anything, like a post credits something to kind of lead us into the wait for Ahsoka.
Dave
Yeah.
Filoni would write some shit like what you said earlier about Bo-Katan fighting with Ezra's lightsaber. I can see that.
Well, and Sabine also. I mean, Sabine having Ezra's lightsaber is pretty unique, right? A Mandalorian with a lightsaber is really unique, but a Jedi's lightsaber, not the dark
Does
saber.
she have it?
Yeah,
She
he-
definitely has it.
Chopper, he gives his lightsaber to Chopper on the way out, so he just hands it off. You don't really
Right.
see it.
Okay.
He just hands it off to him, and then he goes to Thrawn.
Yeah, Ezra
But then-
doesn't bring his saber onto the
But then
ship.
at the
Mm.
end, it's very Luke. It's like I'm walking in without my weapon. I don't need my
Yeah.
weapon. I am the Force, right?
Mm.
He walks away, hands it to Chop. As the battle starts ensuing, Chop hands it to Sabine so she can break the window. So Sabine is leading the charge with Ezra's saber. So she has his saber at the end of the season. We don't see it on her belt in that post-cred scene, but no doubt she's carrying it with her, right? Sabine and Ezra were like siblings, right?
Yeah.
He flirted, but it was more like a young man flirting with every woman around him. Like a puppy, right? And eventually they grew to be like as close as brothers and sister, right? They were family.
And Kanan
So-
trained her a little bit too, so if they were to fight, she could hold her own.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. I feel like that would be the only way I'd want to see a Sabine Wren in The Mandalorian is saying, "Oh, I used to carry that. It's heavy, right? Right? Yeah. That's because you don't know shit. Come to the desert with me for a minute. Let's go train, and then just have like a Rocky style montage of her, the same way Ezra trained her the forms. Give us this little Rocky montage of him learning some forms and it becoming lighter, right? Because that's what it is. It's the connection to it. It's the use of it in battle. It's everything involved. And so we saw her struggle with it at first. We saw Paz Vizsla not really be able to control it at all. It looked like he was slinging a sledgehammer, right?
Yeah.
And so really that would be a fun way for Bo-Katan to be like, well, if you're going to hold that thing, you better talk to somebody who's fought with it, right? And then talk to Sabine, like somebody who got trained by a Jedi. You should talk to her.
He seemed pretty all right when he was slaying up all those dog people, the dog face dudes.
Well, he was still swinging
he
it
was
real
holding his
heavy.
own.
He cut himself, my guy.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
I forgot about
leg
that.
off, dude. And he was swinging it like.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, there was weight.
Yeah, he was
Right.
still struggling, even though he was
Damn.
killing him with.
Yeah,
it,
I'm
but-
wondering who's gonna like light the fire under his ass about that, because if he can get full control of that thing, like untouchable.
Oh yeah.
Well, and that's just
Imagine
it.
he's old, but he becomes an Anakin with that thing.
Well, and like I said, I feel like for a fact there's no force sensitivity in Din Djarin, right? He is 100% sloppy with that. He's like a 5-year-old with a baseball bat,
And,
right?
Yeah,
He's
Paz
just
struggled
winging
more.
it, right? There's no form to it, and I think that's what would make Din Djarin an even more interesting character. Would be, take a minute and get some training, right? Like I would love to see this conversation between him and Bo-Katan saying, "Hey, I can whoop ass with a staff, with a vibroblade, with blasters. You give me a weapon, I annihilate with it. This thing is ridiculous. How do I get a handle on this?" And he's like, well, Bo-Katan's like, well, I really only fought with it once and I got my ass kicked by Moff Gideon.
Mhm.
So I would say you should talk to somebody who's actually used it against another, and that's Sabine Wren.
And then how you get them to stop fighting is she opens up more about who she's looking for. That person sounds familiar.
See, that's the only reason they use these big shows to segue into the new shows, right? They did it with Boba. They used Boba to promote Mando. They used this to promote. They used Mando 2 to promote Ahsoka, right? It's a constant promotion in the show. It would be smart to do a scene like this with Sabine, something short and sweet, a training segment for Din Djarin, so that when he does face Moff Gideon with this, he's not sloppy and reckless.
Oh no, I was finna go all the way to the moon with this one, brother. I was finna say that how they stop fighting is they find out that Din is Ezra's brother, and
I like that theory too.
boom, boom. His daddy, right there, looks just like the damn. Where's that? Yep, his daddy looks just like his Ezra's parents. So it's
So
like
you're
shit.
saying, wait a minute. You're saying Ezra's parents after or before, or like twin
Before.
brothers?
Or
I'm talking about
No, Din
older
Djarin is
brother.
the first, I think.
right.
The older
Din is
brother.
the first child. Yeah, because
Yes.
we really don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, Sheev, you're on us. You're in on this too.
I've always loved this theory. It's the most
No, let's
shot in the
go.
dark theory ever, but I'm
Right?
totally on board with it.
I thought I was reaching.
Oh,
Come
no.
on, man. So, okay, hear me
Wait,
out. So
wait,
basically,
wait.
the theory is that the dad looks almost
Hit the button.
exactly like.
Wait,
Hit the,
wait.
hit the button,
Wait, stop the
obsession.
music. Stop the music. Just stop the music. Okay, wait a minute. What the hell are y'all smoking? Did y'all send each other some shit? Could you send me some so I can get on that shit? Y'all are out of your goddamn mind.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. Just
I
hear me
gotta
out.
change-
Just hear me out.
I gotta change the vibe in here. That's it, y'all. Imposters.
Uh-oh.
Hear me out.
Imposter.
It's probably for sure wrong. For sure, just a wrong theory, but I love it because
Right.
Din's father looks almost identical to the way that Ezra's dad does. I watched again. I was doing my Mandalorian rewatch, and it definitely the mom looks like she could be slightly different for sure. Don't get me wrong,
But the dad.
but the dad looks damn straight up just like him. And I'm like, obviously they like it looks like they blow up as soon as they put Din Djarin in there. Like it almost looks like that, but I
Well,
don't.
they're going to encourage the
What?
cowardly dog us, man. They're going to
I mean,
show us that his parents.
So hear me out. Maybe the real theory here is that the mom ends up dying, and the dad thinks that the son and the mom are dead, and he goes and finds a new family, and that's
Whoa.
Ezra's dad.
That is
But-
way better.
All right. Well, if in original trilogy fashion, if Din lays one on Ezra, they're definitely siblings.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
Din Bridger.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Din Bridger. The
Din
Din Bridger
Bridger
theory. Yeah.
The Din
No one ever
Bridger
said-
theory.
John,
It's
John
definitely a
could be the
thing.
name he adopted. So
Yeah, I like the Darth
ashamed.
Jar Jar.
I'm
This is
ashamed
like the
of you
same
guys.
thing.
I'm ashamed to be here right now. Listen to this blasphemy.
if,
I
if
don't know.
you
Obsession, the
can-
more they say it, though,
Stop it. You stop it right
the
now.
more it's said
You
out
stop
It's
loud.
it
a
right
foundling,
now.
too.
you know the truth, Obsession. You know the truth.
Right now, young man.
Damn.
I will not take this kind of blasphemy.
You sound like one of those tactical droids.
That's it. Initiate protocol.
Sound like the droid general.
Oh, you guys. Din Bridger. That's it. Din Bridger is the next video we're making.
Boom.
Do it.
Din
my
Bridger,
guy.
blasphemous. Wow, that's one I hadn't heard. So
Come
that's
on.
where you
That's
guys are on the
internet
like
breaking.
So, hold
Force
on. I
sensitive.
think I can put this up.
force sensitive twin versus not force sensitive twin.
Do it.
So
Man,
this is Din Djarin's dad, and he would be
Daddy.
younger at this time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this works. If I can just
Come on,
switch it
man.
over.
I'm
That's Ezra's
Come on.
dad.
Come on, man. Come on.
Come on.
Damn, you might be onto something.
It's right there. It's right there.
Just saying.
Man, I hate you.
nah, fam.
Why are you showing
Nah.
me this?
I'm sticking to a hard
God
no.
damn it.
I'm sticking to a hard no.
This is the only way your boy Din makes it out alive.
Whoops, that's something else. That's for tomorrow.
Keeping him.
Red Skull. Red Skull is Ezra's father.
It's Jennifer Corbett talking about Bad Batch tomorrow, actually.
Holy
Yeah.
fuck.
So that'll be a tease for
Wow.
tomorrow. Stick around.
Nice.
How do I get this off the screen now?
Yeah, you broke it.
Jedi
Stop-
Mike.
Stop screen
What
sharing.
the
There you
hell?
go.
With the no, we got the skull and crossbow. It's falling in.
No. All right, fam.
the
Let's give you
pictures.
this option again. All right, we're gonna put it out there, fam, because I'm gonna let you guys decide. We're gonna put it right here next to Sheev.
Everybody make
because
a
he's
make a
putting
video
out this
comment.
blasphemy. Let us know what you think. All right, this is I mean, this is madness. This is sheer. I mean, this is sheer and utter madness. I'm
Talk
telling you.
about a break the internet moment, right?
I mean, I don't know what to think
You're
about that.
Chewy.
Yeah, I don't know what to think about that.
I was only part of the way there, and then he put up the pictures.
Yeah. No, I mean, look, the pictures look compelling.
Okay, so you guys are actually into it a little bit.
But I'm a hard no. I'm a hard no.
But you're a hard yes for Darth Jar Jar.
I'm a hell yes for Darth Jar Jar.
What?
Oh, everybody needs a Darth Jar Jar.
What
the fuck?
I'm a 100 here. We're gonna put this over here. I'm a 100% Darth Jar Jar.
In big doo doo this time.
Right. Misa love it, the Jar Jar. Misa love it.
If we get Din and Ezra are siblings, and then we also get Satine and de-aged Ewan, best Star Wars ever.
Yeah.
Woo! That's it. That's what I'm waiting for. That's what it's all about.
We're just gonna call it the Famdalorian, and every character ever is in it.
Yep.
It's about family, and because we got Fast 10 coming out. It's all about family, and then you know,
and then Vin Diesel's like, I don't got friends, I got family.
Dark kyber crystals are for family.
In the big battle, freaking Toretto's gonna come busting in.
Like, see, this is what I want. I want a Darth Jar Jar is the big bad in the sequel trilogy. He's been hiding all this time, waiting for Palpatine to truly be dead. Din Bridger, get the fuck out of here.
You can believe
out of here.
You can believe
this is blasphemy.
They're gonna be wearing white Mando armor too.
Right
Come
now.
on.
How you gonna believe a Gungan who was cursed for like 20 years by the fandom that was brought back for a couple of episodes of the Clone Wars to be a fucking Sith in disguise, but when we show you actual proof of two actors,
wait, so what you're saying? You're saying that
the math ain't mathin', is what I'm saying.
That Din Djarin is the older sibling, that he was born during the Clone Wars,
right?
And that his parents think that he died because he wasn't there when they went back,
right?
And then they said, well, we're never going to find him, so screw it. Let's have another baby to replace him. So this is Peter Pan. You're telling me Din Djarin is Peter Pan?
Here's the rest of the theory. And shout out,
it's Peter Pan.
Well, we already got Space Aladdin. Shit, yeah.
He's not wrong.
Peter Pan.
They literally called the bro a space rat.
Wow.
Yeah, they did. Shout out to Dawn, because she's got the rest of the theory here for me. Actually, she's even more into it than I am, and I love it. So here's the start of it. The dad actor made a big deal about him wearing the red robes, and also there was no dead bodies, no Ezra Djarin. But continuing on, the Djarins became the Bridgers when they settled on Lothal to kind of go into hiding from after the Clone Wars. Bernard, the actor, said he was specifically picked because he resembles an existing character in the universe.
It don't get no better than that.
Where is this, from Reddit?
No, it's literally from the mouth of the dang actor. He was recently in London at the Forge installation. I don't know what that is, but Linda, listen.
Scotty's on it.
I think I'm I got my ticket. I'm ready to board.
I don't even know if I can board that train. I don't
Take
even
my
know if I
hand.
can board that. You know
All aboard.
You know where the word shit came from? Do you guys know? Here, I'm gonna lay some knowledge. You know where the word shit came from? The word shit came from trains, my guy. Ship high in transit, right? Because all the shit used to get piled on top. Guess what? I don't know if I can get on this shit show.
Obsession. Take my hand.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
And who is the creator?
I can't do it.
Din Djarin?
How you just gonna get me up out of here? You know what?
Or co-creator?
You guys are reaching. You guys are reaching.
Oh,
I think it's the most glorious reach of ever.
So what? You're talking about Din Djarin is tenured senior to Ezra.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying. You're saying 10
Would
years.
he even be 10 years? They could be closer than that.
You got to figure.
Okay, here's your
The Clone
Here's
Wars were
more.
only 3 years, right?
Oh, yes,
Gotta get the
Scotty's
homework.
got it. Let's
Oh,
go.
no.
Hey, my boy. Yes,
Here-
sir.
Shit, now
Here's
there
more.
are 2 of them.
So that actor, and what they were saying in that last part of it, the actor is going to be appearing at this thing called The Forge,
Okay,
or
that's what that
basically
is.
it's a Star Wars experience in London, and it's a recreation of the blacksmith's area from the show.
Come on, man.
So why is he
Of
Why
all
in-
people,
Why in
why
these,
him?
my friend?
weird?
I love Dawn in the chat. She's been talking about we could see the planet Akvatina, which is the place that we see Din Djarin as a kid. We could see Akvatina again. I would love to see more of Aquatina in season 3 and hopefully get more of that flashback. And it would be so cool to get kind of a continuation of Grogu's flashback in Order 66 and a continuation of Din's after he gets kind of rescued by the Mandalorians.
And the potential birth of Ezra Bridger.
Oh, that would be so cool.
I give you one more chance, Obsession. Join us.
me.
I don't think. I mean, I'm surprised nobody in the chat has jumped in a video comment with their phone. Y'all don't know how easy this is. You scan it, you open the thing, it's gonna say start. You start, and then you talk, and then you end. Come on.
You're starting.
Jedi Mike, I'm dead.
You guys are killing me here.
I think I'm on board.
He took the hand.
Oh,
We
man.
got him, boys. Let's go.
Listen, I think there is enough evidence here.
Dan, thank you for being on this with me so that I have some support. You know what I mean?
Thank you for being a believer in this. Thank you.
I didn't
love
know
Din
that I
Djarin
could
as
be
well.
more excited for this season.
Yes!
All right,
Let's
so
I
go.
mean, so what? This dude's gonna show up in the show and be like, "I am your father."
Fuck
Like he's
yeah.
gonna
Yes.
Vader this shit. Get the fuck out of here.
since
There's
we're
no
on,
way.
No, brother.
he's not going to show up. But yeah, what if
How the f-
what if the big reveal at the end of season 3 is that they find Ezra in this show?
Also, all right, fine. They're not brothers.
Probably not. Probably not.
Listen. Okay, let's go with Obsession's thinking. They're not brothers. Then storyline, he leaves Mandalore, fights Bo. Then we eventually meet up with Ezra. Ezra and Din aren't related, and they're just on screen together, not talking about shit. Like, no! They're brothers. All right, I rest my case.
They're brothers.
Rest my case.
I mean, damn. If that's how the legal system worked, shit.
I've watched a lot of Law and
objection.
Order. And this is
Shit. I mean, okay, all right. You know, I'll get on board. I'll get on
Thank
board. All right, I'll jump on board. Here, you know what? How about this? I will say that you guys are out of your goddamn minds. I mean, look, it's just. I mean, what? This is some John Benet Ramsey shit right here. This is some like stolen kids or kidnapped kids going in,
That's
going
right,
into
that
hiding, and their parents never find out about them. But then one day,
Star
it's
Wars:
like
How I Met Your Mother.
an episode of Springer. You are the father of both these boys. Ah, shit.
They
Right, I
thought
mean-
they thought
He just starts dark sabering everybody on stage.
throwing chairs.
Oh, I want to
Maybe
make.
they
I want to
did
make
find
an
them.
animation out of that now. I want to make that
God,
animation
man.
now. I want to make.
I
an
already
animation.
can see it. Obsession's gonna make a little short tomorrow. That's gonna
I'm
be
making
like,
it tonight.
Y'all
What
are
you talking about
goddamn
tomorrow?
crazy.
This shit will be out in like 15 minutes. I already got it in my head of how I'm gonna take clips from this and blast you guys for it.
Bruh, life
No,
in the dark times was crazy. We don't know. You know what I'm saying? They could have thought he died, and maybe they did look for him.
so what
but-
you're saying? We're gonna get a flashback of the dad coming back to the bunker. Like,
Yeah.
where is he?
Trying
And
to
he
look
gone?
oh, that'd be wild.
And then
Because
fast
maybe-
forward.
For
Fast
shit,
forward
maybe
to him, them showing a live action version of that scene with Ezra from the portal right before he destroys the world between worlds with Palps.
bro, maybe they were the only survivors of that thing too. Think about that. The parents survived. No one else did. It's just them two. Let's forget about this.
I mean,
We gotta
yeah,
get
the
away.
Mandalorians could have easily taken them away before. They
I was just
even
gonna say,
went
yeah.
back.
What's this? Who's to say a Mandalorian didn't save them also?
Wouldn't
But
they
if
have
they
met up?
did, then that kind of destroys the theory because then that Mandalorian is part of that same group which saved Din. So wouldn't they know and try to connect them back together?
That's what I'm saying. Like the parent,
Mm.
like he's got to be the dad's got to be the last person in that village, like wife dead. He's got to be the last dude in that village, and then Ezra's mom is like the new chick that he met on Lothal. Like he's got to get evac to Lothal, right? That's the only way that works.
You're saying it makes more
The
sense
mom
if it's
again.
just the single dad.
Yeah, I think it makes more sense if they're half brothers than
Cool.
brothers.
Okay. As long as they're still brothers, that's cool.
I think it may if like I said, I'll board your silly ass train. I'm gonna jump off it. I'm gonna jump off it as soon as I'm done here.
As soon as it crashes.
As soon as y'all crash, I'm the first one jumping off at the back of the train and letting y'all burn. But truth be told, look, for argument's sake, I'll jump on board.
All right.
The only way it works is if they show us a scene back in that same, and they kind of did. I mean, here, look, we'll pull it up. They kind of did. I'm gonna jump on your train for a minute. I'm not liking it, but I'll jump on. There's a scene where we see these the Mandalorians fly down, and it's the Babu Frick's parents moment.
Hey.
All right, so it's this shit. All right, and I think it's. Let me see. Let me put this on.
Man, I want to pull up a clip.
All right, so there we go. Boom, boom. Okay, let's share this sheet. This is blasphemy. This is absolute blasphemy.
Please add fuel to the fire, my guy.
This is blasphemous. I hate myself.
It's almost a raging inferno at this point.
I hate myself so much right now. Okay, so here we have. Okay, we've got this scene here, right? And we see these Mandalorians. Doesn't that look very similar? If I'm jumping on your guys' bandwagon, doesn't the armor
in a little bit? I think it's supposed to be.
I think it's
Navarro, but
yeah, those guys.
I don't think so.
Are with
Navarro didn't have Mandalorian ships hanging above, right? Navarro, all of those Mandalorians came out of the covert to help Din Djarin. So we know Navarro at this point in the story is now renewed and nice because of the work that good Marshal Cara Dune and the good magistrate have ushered in a new era, right? The leader of the guild. This looks more like a flashback to the day Din Djarin got rescued. Same colored armor.
See
Mandalorian from the sky.
Battle droids anywhere in any of these clips? Are they hiding off to the side? Is there any hint of Clone Wars anything?
Well, the Mandalorian ship, right? This looks like Navarro after the red armor.
We got a dead. Look at that. There's a dead Mando over on the right.
Yeah, well, look, there's the Imperial heads right here also. Oh, hold on, you can't see it. Hold on, let me get rid of this.
Yeah, it's under.
Well,
right,
yeah, that's also the burnt IG-11 statue, right?
This was the clip I was talking
yes,
about.
This was the burnt. This, but I don't think these are the same, are they? Because this has. I mean, it may be. It just seemed like this scene looked. It didn't look like that, right? Because
those definitely look like Death Watch a little bit, but I don't know.
The one that
armor's
pulled
red.
Din out was wearing blue armor.
Right, they were Death Watch. Right, this has everybody. Right, the purples, the greens. Colors. This is after the IG-88 statue, right?
And this is the same guy that was with the younglings.
This is the same
with the foundlings.
Yep. This is Paz.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. This is after that, you would assume. Right. And this is where we get, the connection to the sequel starts to reminate.
Yo, some cool thing I heard about this species. It's not just the fact that they're skilled technically, their eyes can see microscopic connections in these wirings and things. So that's why people hire them, because they can see microscopic.
Well, and I love this because this is obviously where that family is working. B1s in the background.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
So those are.
This is a droid. bar? They're just
Uh-uh.
vibing.
This is the
Droid
droid bar.
bar.
This is where Babu Frick's family works.
These are the
They're
droids you
just
are looking for.
vibing. If we get B1 droids just vibing, I need that.
No, we are. They're just
oh my god!
drinking,
If they're just
hanging
having
out.
conversations like in the
R2
Clone
We
Wars,
need to hear them talk. We
Oh.
need D. Bradley
Yes.
Baker talking in this.
oh my god!
Roger.
On the Anselans, since we were just there, I heard a thing from Carl Weathers today at I don't know what fan expo thing he was at, but he talked about working with some of the Anzelans, so it's possible they could be in his episode or he saw him on set or whatever the
Someone
case
thinks
is.
there's one walking behind him. There is a very small creature walking behind him.
And then my
Red robe.
Oh yeah,
my
right.
other
Saber Smith,
question,
not wood.
my other question with the Anselans is when Grogu says "yup," do you think that could be an edit of one of them being like "yup," or do you think that's actually
Ooh,
Grogu?
I like that.
I hope it's him. I hope
Yeah,
I
that
hope
is.
think it's
too.
Grogu.
I told y'all I thought his baby chatter was in the first season was very minimal, but you could hear him starting to say weird
Well,
shit.
Season 2 he did.
Like I could have swore at some point I heard the word Octu come out of his mouth, but that's just me.
Chat, I found a live representation of Star Wars Obsession going into Dan and Sheev's room after the stream.
Do it.
Palpatine?
Right. Let's kick your sandbox. Kick the sand right out of your sandbox.
That's not
Oh.
sand.
I know what it
With
is.
spice.
So there.
Anyway,
Look, I'm just saying
Oh,
it's
man.
it's definitely
Welcome
gonna
back to
be-
New Rockstars. I'm Eric Voss,
Whoa.
and this is a
I'm Eric Voss.
Wow,
Hi, Eric. How are you?
he's very
Um,
energetic.
God, he was like, hello.
gotta love autoplay. The worst feature ever. YouTube, get rid of autoplay.
I mean, subscribed is I'm surprised that's not the first word that came out of his mouth was subscribe here. All right, so we got a lot coming up this week. We got two things coming out. A humongous episode of Bad Batch. This is what Metamorphosis, I believe.
Indeed.
This is so. What a great episode to piggyback on Mando, because I think this is going to be a big reveal. Maybe a jump forward in time. Maybe an Omega donning her own armor, perhaps grabbing the Mandalorian prototype armor up there. So Metamorphosis, I think 100% has to do with Omega growth and her becoming maybe an older, maybe a teen. Maybe we get the same timeline as seeing a young Boba. So
I mean, these two shows are separated by quite a bit of time.
A huge amount of time. More
What's
than
to
19
say
years.
that one of these Mandalorians, who we have not seen their face reveal,
Oh shit.
is Omega.
well, see, and here's what I like. I would like to see.
And we killed Dan.
I would like to see Omega.
What if
make
that,
that-
happens? Boy, what? Say it again, Matt Cave. One more time.
I'm saying one of these yet to be seen without a helmet Mandalorians could very well be Omega.
Hot damn.
What? The shit is going on here?
What an amazing way to build up her character and having these shows run simultaneously,
At the same
and then
goddamn-
there's the connection.
This
Right,
I
here's
mean-
your big moment. She's the reveal at the end of the
I'm-
season,
I'm-
and it leads
I-
into Book of Boba
Tonight
season 2.
I'm calling Satine, I'm calling Obi-Wan, and I'm calling
Can't take
Omega.
it, Steve. One hype at a time. Please. My heart. I
His
can't-
heart. He can't take it. He can't take it. Omega Fett. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. But look, I would like to see Omega if she takes that armor, that prototype armor.
You mean when?
Huh?
Yeah.
When she's going to take
Oh,
that.
but you know what it is? It's going to be Tamara in a wig. That's what it's.
Oh no.
Well, and look, I've been. I mean, it would be so awesome to see her grow up a little bit, and maybe take that armor, maybe build some of her own, right? At this point, the Beskar purge is going on. Maybe finding some would be an interesting way to get her into some armor. Maybe finding some, but this is going to be an interesting episode of Bad Batch. And then you have the season release of Mando that's going to dwarf everything.
So which one are we watching first, Mando or Bad Batch?
I don't think
Is this
there's
the
a
first
single
time they've
person-
overlapped?
This is the first time that Star Wars has overlapped with
I
itself.
think it was on purpose.
Disney has done this with
Damn.
Loki, and I think it was Mando.
But we're talking
No.
strictly Star Wars at the same time.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm
This
talking
is the
about
first time Star Wars
IPs.
has run
Yeah.
shows concurrently. Yes.
It
Way to start connecting
wasn't
things, I don't
Mando
know.
and Loki. I could tell you that. It was an animated. I think it was Bad Batch and Loki that went
There you go.
together.
Mm.
Yeah, it was something like that.
And so this won't be the first time Bad Batch has gone up against a live action show for Disney Plus. But I will say, I think with the episode of Bad Batch that drops this week, there's probably gonna be a lot of hype around that. And obviously with Mando, everybody's gonna be more hyped about Mando. But once you see that Bad Batch episode, I'm telling you, I think a lot of people are gonna be like, "Well, damn, that was pretty good too."
Yeah, I think they timed it just right to put the Mandalorian lore in the right place for everybody at the right time, right? So I think Metamorphosis I hope it digs more into the lore, like in Bad Batch, as to where their DNA comes from. I hope somehow they dive into that a little more. Maybe hear Jango Fett's name because they are in the underworld, and maybe hear about this, Mandalorian bounty hunter that was the shit and he was the top dog. Maybe that could strike the conversation because they are running in the pockets of the people that he would run with, right? Maybe a Bosk sighting, but if we see Bosk, we see, guess who we see at the same time? Boba, right? Like he's running with these bounty hunters, so their crossover is close and possible.
Was the internet like not calling for Bosk? Did they not hear that? They heard that, right? Like the
It's an
man's
easy character to
alive.
do.
Like, yeah.
Well, he's training Boba. What is it? What is her name? I'm awful with her name. The female
Aura
bounty
Singh?
hunter, Aura Singh. Who's the dude with the Raiden hat?
Oh, you think he's got them all there now?
Right. All of these bounty hunters
Think-
are the people that trained Boba and basically, piloted the Slave One for him until he was old enough to do it himself. Like all of these things are coalescing. Why couldn't this happen in the Bad Batch and lead to the Boba Omega interaction, the first meet, right? I mean, it's an opportunity leading into Mando season 2. So get to that Mandalorian lore in Bad Batch and then keep it going in Mando. Seems like it could be a lot of fun. But I think that the first thing I want to do on our way out, let's talk about subscribing. So I want everybody to get down to the Matt Cave because that dude puts out some fucking amazing content, and nobody loves his retro gaming enough. And
Wholesome.
I'm tired of it. I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of Matt not getting the.
You gotta do the voice.
I'm not.
Tired of it.
I'm not tired. I'm tired of it. Yes, I am tired of it.
They're swinging now.
I'm tired. Here, I'll do it for you.
I'm tired of it. I'm goddamn tired of it. You get over there and subscribe to the Mad Cave.
But yeah, look,
Wow.
Matt puts out the most fun retro content. If you're into retro gaming, you got to get out, check out the Matt Cave, get down there and subscribe. We're gonna be over at I think we're gonna hang out with Sheev on Mando night because I'm not doing it by myself. There's too many people that do it, so we got to cut that down. We got to jump on each other's stuff. So I think I'm gonna hang out with him the premiere night. We'll be here tomorrow night to do the pre show, the early bird show. We'll call it the early bird snowbird show because we're going to do it so much earlier than everybody else. So be over there. Scotty's got some stuff he's going to do. He wants to do more convos like this on his channel also. So get over there and subscribe. Dan, what are you doing? Are you back on the phone?
Yeah, no. So you talking about what am I doing tonight?
What are you doing for premiere night? What are you doing tomorrow?
Yeah, bro, come over. What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm gonna chill with whoever's live. That's what I'll be doing. I work 1 to 8:30, but then after 8:30, I'm good.
Well, but I mean, there's going to be like 50 shows on covering watch parties. There's like 50. There's like 50 people doing watch parties. Where are you subscribed to? Where can we come see you? Where can these guys subscribe and come see you?
Oh, they want to come see me. Shit. Follow me, Dan the Man.
Bob Saget.
Dan the Man, goddammit. Yeah, or the Snap Crew, one or the other. Go to the channel. I'll be on.
See,
Bro,
Matt
this guy is like a movie star, so subscribe and just give him time. Okay,
Exactly.
He's on the come up right now.
He's
all
on the come up.
Y'all didn't know he
you
was in
guys gotta
Wakanda
get in the
forever.
Discord
Like,
and see all the celebrities.
this
that
guy
he was
can't
in.
gas himself up, so I'll do it. That's fine. I got you, baby.
Try and make just a little bit humble.
He's making movies. He's busy. He's making
subscribed.
movies.
See, look, he's humble. He's trying to be humble. There's a song about that. You don't want to hear me sing it though. But yeah, I mean, it's tomorrow night at midnight. The internet's going to burn down, right? Mando season 3 is global. Everybody and their mama is watching. If they're not watching tomorrow night, they're watching tomorrow morning when they get up. It's probably the most anticipated Star Wars because it's a Star Wars that not everybody hates on. So it's not incredibly awful to be around other people when Mando's on, because it does kind of unite the fandom a little bit, at least until those sequel characters hit, and then all bets are off. But yeah, so I think that's what we're doing. I think we've covered where everyone's going to be. Ezra Dinjarin. I prefer Din Bridger. I'm gonna make that shirt tonight. Din Bridger,
I'll buy 10.
with the dark saber. We're gonna do it today.
Giveaway of the shirts.
I'll buy 10.
We'll make the mug. We'll put it on a T-shirt. We'll bumper sticker it. We'll put that name on
Because
everything.
you need 10 to fulfill the order.
Not where we operate. Where we operate, go to the merch shop. I'm gonna plug it. Go to the merch shop. In fact, because you guys said that, I'm gonna discount all the gear this week for the Mando premiere. So all of the merch, I'm gonna put a promo code. Get in the Discord. That's where I'm gonna have it. Get in the Discord if you're a member. The link is somewhere in something. It's definitely on the homepage for the channel, but we're going to do a discount code. So keep your eyes out for that. It's for the Mando premiere. And I think we're going to get out of here because I think everybody's got some stuff they want to get done. So we've been at it for a couple hours. I want to thank my guys that always come and hang out. Scotty, Sheev, Dan the Man. We weren't expecting to see Matt Cave, but I'm excited we got to see Matt Cave.
Hell yeah.
So we are going to be here tomorrow. We're going to do our pre shows tomorrow. So yes, this is my favorite short on YouTube right now. I don't know if you guys know. Do it.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, it's so good.
Is sound coming through?
No, you got to share with sound.
You
got to share with sound.
I did.
Oh.
Okay. Click.
I suck.
It's a short.
Oh, here,
it's worth it. It's worth it.
I messed it up.
Wait.
I don't know how to get rid of it.
I'll do it.
Wait. I couldn't even figure it out either.
Old chat.
Here it comes. Here it comes. Where is it? Where are your shorts at? See, and this is, like I said, this is one of the channels you need to subscribe to. This is Matt's channel.
I just want to say that this was my kid's idea, and I just did it.
Short. Okay, here it comes. Here, let me turn off the music.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
That's fantastic.
Perfect. It's perfect.
Get over there, show him some love.
Seriously, get over there and show the Matt Cave some love. I'm gonna play this in the background, just nonstop
on the way out.
Just gonna live there in the background.
Yes.
So perfect. Look, don't forget, like I said, get over the Matt Cave. There's so much fun. I want that one to go viral. So everybody share that with everybody you know. I want that to get like 1 million clicks before season 3 premieres. That shit deserves to blow up because it's sheer gold. But get over there to Matt Cave. Subscribe to everybody here. Perfect timing. We're gonna make that really big. See, I love it, but it doesn't do it enough. I want more. I want more.
That's what she said.
I want more. I should be happy, but I want more. That's what Anakin.
More.
Subscribe. But yeah, get down there and subscribe to these guys. It helps everybody else out. And as always, don't forget, get your pet spayed, neutered, help control the pet population. And as always, my friends, thank you for being here. May the force be with you.